and welcome to episode 43 of
The Eldritch Podblast!
I'm Margaret.
I am Jack.
And hello, welcome.
What did you do?
I don't know, I panicked.
What did you
I
do?
just did Eldritch Podblast. Before we started filming, Jack was like, do you know what voice you're going to do? And I said yes, but I had no idea. And,
I just thought of my voice before. I was like, I'll just do like a thick Scot. I'll do an angry, thick Scot. Thick?
Thick?
I'll do an angry, thick Scottish accent.
Nice.
I feel like I did justice.
Once again, I feel like that was auditory hell for everyone watching.
Maybe we should like do the same one.
Should we do this? Should we do the same
that
one?
That might be, yeah. Should we do?
That means we have to plan it though.
Should we do a Scottish one now?
I can try. Oh, you're gonna. Oh no, I'm gonna do it, and you're not gonna make any noise.
No, I'll do it. I
don't believe you.
Give me your go on. Let me listen. Give me your best Scottish Eldritch Podblast. You just swore.
I just swore. I don't know if anyone heard that. To be fair,
well, I'll put it in.
But to get into a Scottish accent, I have to do that video. You know where that the kids are singing. This is Cher Lloyd by Cher Lloyd, and then the mum comes in. Disgusting. The Eldritch Podblast. You know, I was like, I'm not good at accents.
Give us it again.
The Eldritch. That just sounds like me. The Eldritch Podblast.
I mean,
that was.
It was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Go on, give me your critiques.
Pretty good, yeah.
Scottish people everywhere are cringing.
If you're Scottish,
I'm
so
sorry.
If you're Scottish, let Margaret know how she did.
Yeah. I'm actually Scottish.
Oh yeah, that's half Scottish.
I'm actually not British at all.
Yeah. Well, no, you are British because Scotland's in Britain.
Yeah, oh no,
you're not English.
I'm not English. I'm not English. I'm quarter Irish, quarter Scottish, and half Filipino.
Yeah.
I haven't done one of those DNA tests, but I should probably.
It'd be all over the place.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
It'd be all over the place.
Your mum's really into them.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I probably should do one sometime.
I think she's already done it for you, hasn't she?
She hasn't, well, not as far as I know.
Well, she did your mum's side.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's on your dad's side.
No, I think it's the other way around. She's on my dad's side, but not my mum's side.
I thought she'd done the other way around.
Sorry.
I think she was a bit of a standstill with your mum's side, wasn't she?
Yeah. I think if I gave DNA, it might, it might open up some.
Give some blood.
Yeah, give
some
blood.
Like all of you have.
Is it blood? It's not blood. Surely it's not blood.
I don't know.
They can't be taking people's blood. I think only we can do that.
Right?
Don't panic. No, it's very normal.
Only we can do that.
I promise, it's very normal to give us your blood. But it can't be. I think it's spit, right? It's spit. It has to be.
Spit.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be
blood.
Hit him with a patooey. Patooey. Have it. You just spit in their face. I nearly swore. Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
I don't know. What? Who are you? Please. Yeah. How are you? Good.
Nice.
You got the infection scene too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like to hear. It was infectious.
Cheers to you.
Oh, well, I'm glad it's over. Oh my God, we ran out of ice, okay? And I've made myself the most disgusting, it's not even, I can't even call it lukewarm.
Do you know what? It's just, it's so you either need to ice, put the coffee in.
Yeah.
Because we've got a nice coffee machine. So you grind up the beans, gets the double espresso in there. And you've either got to froth the milk and heat it up so it's a nice hot coffee, or you've got to hit it with some ice and just pour the cold milk, so then it's just a nice iced coffee. But Margaret didn't have any ice, didn't froth the milk, so just poured cold milk into hot coffee, and it's just made it this horrible medium temperature.
It's not even lukewarm, is it? It's it's like
no, it is
room
lukewarm.
temperature.
It's like room temp,
and it's disgusting.
It's just
it's not
hideous.
Good, but I can't not drink it. I can't waste it.
Yeah, it's beans, isn't it?
It's beans.
Beans in it.
Beans in it.
And beans are expensive.
Beans are expensive. Good coffee beans are expensive.
Yeah, good coffee beans are expensive.
This is sponsored by Top of the Morning Coffee.
yeah, Jacksepticeye's coffee brand.
One day it'll be true.
I swore.
Oh no, I didn't hear it.
I sort of tried to. I realized I was doing it, and I tried to curb it, but I don't think I curbed it.
I did just lipstick in my Valentino bag. Yeah, so you know how last week we were like, every Monday's episode's really weird because we
But you say that about the Thursday
Those
episode.
are all really weird. But Monday's
just
episode's
a
like
weird
manic
podcast.
because we have so much to catch you guys up on. So
much.
there's so much. Shall we just get into it? Well, first of all, how are you?
We've already done this, but yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. Did we?
Yeah.
Did we?
I think it was the first thing we did.
Instant replay. Did we?
I hope we did.
I don't think we did.
I
asked how they were, and they told me that their infection is gone, but
Yes.
it was infectious.
That's okay though.
So we should all
as long
probably
as
get
it's gone,
checked. We should all get checked.
You get yourself some antibiotics.
Yeah. Oh, good.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm good. You already asked me. How are you?
I'm good.
I think that's the third time you asked me.
No, it can't be. We've been playing a lot of.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Oh, that's good.
I'll die. Fine.
I just said, how are you? Am I in this podcast alone?
You know what? This is the equivalent of rancid vibes. This right now. Oh, we have some new emojis in the Discord. We have a Discord.
What's going on?
It's been a little while since
going on?
we've plugged the Discord.
Yes. Over 500 people in there, all D&D lovers.
Yes. Very, very, very good stuff.
The invite link is in the description.
Yes, please join if you're looking to pick up a game. There's loads of games currently going on.
Yes.
I made some new emojis last night. You weren't in.
I wasn't in.
Yeah. So I made, oh God, Margaret, Jack, write this down.
Oh.
I made restful. Very nice. I made unrestful.
Oh my God.
Very, very, very good use of that. And then I made rancid vibes.
I feel like they're all good emojis. Yeah. I feel like they're all very good emojis.
I feel like everyone has adopted restful and unrestful.
Restful.
Unrestful.
Rancid vibes.
Rancid vibes.
Rancid
That's
vibes.
us. That's literally us right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
Let's attempt to have some structure to this podcast.
Yes.
So you're about to say we've been playing a lot of, or do you want to go into something else?
We'll go into something else because we've been ranting and raving a little bit here.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
So. Let's just get straight into it. To be fair, we're only like 8 minutes in. We could.
We haven't got to it. We haven't got to anything yet. We haven't got to anything yet. You're like, oh, we're 8 minutes in. We've said nothing.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone who has bought some merch.
Yes.
That has been the reception to the merch has been absolutely amazing.
Yes.
I think at time of recording now, I think people's merch is starting to come in.
We hope.
We hope. Yeah, I think people were saying on the Discord last night that some of the tracking information is updated.
All right. Cool.
So. Our manufacturers have like a production time of like 3 to 5 days, and then obviously shipping times on top of that. So hopefully, at time of watching for you, people should be. The majority should have their merch by now.
That's cool.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much to anyone who bought a t-shirt. It's a fantastic way to support the podcast.
It really
if you do want to buy a t-shirt and you haven't yet, the link will be in the description below.
Yeah.
To it's www.theeldritchpodblast.co.uk.
It's just Eldritch Podblast.
www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk.
Baby.
Worldwide shipping is £1.50.
Yeah, not limited edition. So pick one up whenever you can or want to.
Yeah.
So
Discord shilled.
T-shirt shilled.
Shelled.
Anything else?
How are you?
I'm good.
What's next?
So, let's just get into it because we could rant and ramble all day. So, I would like to move on to just a little bit of fan art. Little bit of fan art. And this fan art, I'm just gonna show it. It's our little boy.
It's our little bubbin.
It's our sweet little bubbin boy, our little bully boy.
Who sat right here?
Who sat right there. He's fast asleep. This was done by Kate in the Discord. Kate, oh my God.
Did you make that an emoji?
I did. Oh my God, yes, I made this an emoji as well. I made this an emoji as well.
Hit him with the bean.
And it's just our sweet little man. Oh. And I love this style. I absolutely love this style. Like it's the kind of vector art style. I absolutely love it.
I love it.
And
I love it even more because of my dog.
Exactly.
He is the greatest.
Agreed. There was someone in the watch party last night who was like, bully fan art when? And I was like, well, Kate's already on it. So thank you, Kate.
Let's have some less fan out of me. More fan out of the dog.
Dog.
More fan out of the dog.
Can I pet that dog? More fan out of the dog, 100%. I love it. It's my
so
favorite.
Cute.
It's my favorite thing ever.
I think it's my favorite piece of art.
Yeah,
because it's my dog.
Because it's our dog, and he's very sweet. And Kate said when she posted it, she was like, "He hasn't found out of Bully or the dog."
The dog.
The dog.
The dog.
John was like, "Do we know the name of the dog?"
The dog.
His name's Bully.
His name's Bully.
His name's Bully, and he's a sweet man. And you know what? I was going to say I'll put some pictures up of him, but I feel like this fan art does him justice.
Yeah,
this
really. Bobbin.
He's an English Bull Terrier.
Yes, he is.
He's nearly 10 years old.
He's 9.
He has an eye infection.
He doesn't now. He's got some antibiotics for his eye infection.
And he's got weird feet.
And he's got stinky feet.
And he smells like biscuits.
He does smell like biscuits.
Piss and
biscuits. And
biscuits.
he's very ginger.
He's always very ginger.
He's very ginger.
But he's a sweet boy.
He's very shiny.
He's a nightmare, but he's a good lad.
He's a lot of dog.
Oh God.
He's a lot of dog.
Listen, you know how people are like, oh, dog, don't have kids, get a dog instead. Oh,
if a kid was, do you know what? I know kids are more.
Oh no,
I know kids are.
Of course,
I know
of
kids
course.
are more.
No, yeah, and we're not.
I feel like this is as close to having a child.
Oh my God, a forever child.
Yeah,
as well.
Close to having a child as having a child can get because he cries a lot.
Yep. He's awake all hours of every day.
Yeah, he cries a lot. He just
demands a lot of attention.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Oh God, so much money.
A lot of money.
£305 at the vet the other
day. Yeah. Even the receptionist was like, "Ooh,
that's a lot of money."
Yeah. So
yeah, and it was,
but it's worth it because look at his little face.
Yeah, he's cute.
Because he's a sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy.
And he's a sweet little man.
He's the sweetest little man.
He's such a good boy.
And he's not very little. He's quite large.
No. Well, yeah. So yeah, thank you, Kate. Thank you for giving us potentially the best piece of fan art we've ever seen in our lives.
Yes, it is the great. It is S tier fan art.
It is S tier fan art, 100%.
And I've not rated any of the others, but they're also S tier. They're just slightly less S tier than this.
Because this is our dog.
Because it's my dog.
It's because our dog.
And I love him. So get off my back.
Yeah.
Because I know you're on it.
You stop infecting him. I know you got antibiotics now, but
so does my dog.
Yeah.
£305.
I've never seen you and Bully in the same room. So,
are you my dog? Are you my dog?
You've gone from being our child to our dog. Anyway, God, this just gets weirder, doesn't it?
What's next?
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you so much, Kate, truly.
Kate, we appreciate you very much.
So, the next is we have done Homebrew Challenge.
Woo! Homebrew Challenge. So many people entered. Next episode will be, we've already picked the winner because we record these on the same day.
We have already picked the winner.
And
so if you don't know what it is, just to catch you up, every 8 weeks we'll be doing a new theme. The next, and there's 4 challenges in the 8 weeks, once every 2 weeks. The first theme for the challenge is Moon. And there's going to be 4 items or NPCs or gods
or world primers
that we randomly roll.
Yeah.
And you guys can create whatever that is based around the moon. The first one was a simple melee weapon.
So a moon-themed simple melee weapon.
Yes.
And you submit your things,
the submissions. You put your submissions applications
in the Discord in the Homebrew Challenge section, and we had loads.
We had so many. I think we ended up having like 21.
I think we had something like 22, 23,
which is absolutely insane, by the way. So thank you so much. You know what?
We've read through every single one of them. They're all amazing. Sadly, we have to pick a winner.
Yeah, we love every single one. And you know what? Originally, we were like, we're going to pick one winner. We've actually picked a winner and 2 runner-ups.
Yeah, we picked a winner and 2 runner-ups. And there are so many of them are so amazing. And you're all so creative. Well done, you.
Well done.
Well done, you.
Well done.
Oh, you're so clever.
You did that with an infection.
Yeah.
Well done.
Of the brain.
Me.
Yeah.
That's absolutely me. So thank you. We are so glad you guys enjoyed it. And from what we could tell, you really did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which makes us enjoy it even more.
It was loads of fun.
Every single time one came in, it was exciting to read. Geez, you all think so differently.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's
how
insane.
Different some people went for some starter game stuff. Some people went for artifact stuff. Some people took the moon and did it in a few different ways. Some people
it was really cool.
All sorts of different stuff.
It was
crazy.
really, really, really cool. So challenge 1 has finished now. And in this video, we're gonna roll for challenge 2. So
challenge 2.
Here is
challenge 2. Here challenge 2.
Oh.
Challenge 2.
Yeah.
Challenge 2.
Oh.
Margaret's going to roll this one because I rolled the first one.
So here is the table. So this is the
table graphic at time.
Thank you. This is the table that we roll on. I will keep this graphic up while I roll. Shall we just go ahead and get into it? Shall I just go ahead and roll?
Go for it.
All right.
If we get a 1, we're going to re-roll it because that's obviously a simple melee weapon, which we've already had.
I have the janky version of it printed out here.
I've got to use the moon dice.
Indeed.
Let me cook it up for you.
Thanks, Jack. Thank you.
Everyone,
thank you.
Everyone.
What are you hoping for? Tell us what you're hoping for on this list.
Because I know it's crazy because some people were like, here you go, Margaret, it's cooked. Everyone's kissed it.
Go on. Mwah.
Oh, mwah.
Kiss it. Oh, actually, you've got an...
Don't kiss it. Get your lips off it. Get your lips off it. Because I know a lot of people don't. Some people aren't the best at weapons.
Yes. Before I roll, what are you hoping it's going to roll on here?
Do you know we've had a weapon?
Yep.
So I think I would quite like. Do you know I would personally like?
Go on.
I would like World Primer.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because I think World Primers are really cool and exciting.
I knew you were going to say that.
A spell might be quite cool.
I would really like an NPC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we ready?
So don't roll a 1.
Okay.
And yeah.
Watch me roll like 3 ones in a row and die. I got a natural 20.
She got the moon.
So you guys are getting a world primer.
World Primer.
Oh my god.
And don't steal Critical Role Campaign 3.
Oh. You can, you can. Whatever. Yeah, we love plagiarism here. Plagiarize.
So the new challenge is?
The new challenge is...
a World Primer themed around the moon.
That's so... Oh my god, that is so cool.
That's going to be cool.
That is so exciting. And again, I know World Primers can be massive, so the only limitation you have is genuinely the Discord message limit.
Yeah.
You can send it in multiple messages if you want. We do suggest for something like a World Primer, do keep it as brief as you can.
Couple of paragraphs.
Yeah, because we have to obviously read through them.
Yeah.
But keep it brief if you can. Do your World Primer however you want to.
Just set that stage, baby.
Hell yeah.
Like something you would read out, something like short and sweet that you read out to your players in session 0 to get them excited for the campaign.
Totally. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Just please be mindful of the length of it.
Because we do have to read them.
Yeah, you know what? We probably will by the time that this goes up. In the challenge resources,
we might put a character limit on it.
Yeah, we'll put maybe if we can think of anything with our mods as well in between now and then. We'll put some guidelines up in the challenge resources section. That's so exciting.
So we've had a 1 and a 20.
1 and a 20. That's weird, isn't it?
So weird.
Oh well, that's very exciting.
Natural 20 World Primer.
That is great news.
World Primer themed around the moon. You've got 1 week.
You've got 1 week to get it in.
So this will
go. Yeah.
This will go up on the 12th.
Yes.
So you'll have until the 19th.
Yes, indeed.
To submit this new one.
Yep. You have till the 19th of June to get it submitted.
Very excited.
I know you can. Again, I know that this one is probably going to be maybe a bit more work, depending on who you are, than the other one. So please don't pressure yourself into doing it.
But you better fucking do it,
But
right?
come on. Your affection's gone. It's time to celebrate by writing a moon.
You're in your prime.
Primer.
You're in your prime. Let's go.
You're in your primer. Oh, I'm so excited to see what you guys cook up.
World Primers are like my favorite thing.
Man, that's great news.
World Primers are just exciting.
That's really, really great news. That's such good. I'm so happy about that.
We need to, I don't know if we need to do it right now. We need to decide, because obviously there's a lot of homebrew stuff.
Yes.
I think if you are happy for people to use it, I think we're going to have another little segment at the top from now on.
Yes.
You know, in your name, your pronouns, and then it's like, are you okay with people using your idea? And it's like, you can opt into yes or no, and if you say yes, then it's just fair game. If it's no, then people don't use it.
Absolutely, people will respect that. Yeah, and there is, just to make it clear, there is a template that we will provide every challenge for you to be able to see the guidelines clearly, see what information you can submit, etc. Again, if you want to see any of this, the challenge is live right now.
Yes.
Go to our Discord, go to the Podblast content category, and everything you need is there.
Yeah, homebrew challenge is there.
That's
and then
so
the submissions
exciting.
will be there.
Oh, we really hope you enjoy.
I'm
Cannot
so
wait
excited
to see what you guys cook up. I'm so excited.
This is the one I was most excited for as well.
It was actually one of the ones I was most excited for, but I didn't want to say the same thing you said. I'm having a nightmare. I didn't want to say the same thing you said.
Why not? We can be excited for the same thing.
Okay. I'm excited for the World Primer. I'm very excited.
And now it's happening. It's happening!
I have so much phlegm.
We'll drink.
Fill the silence.
Fill the silence on the Eldritch Podblast. Fill the silence with me.
Oh.
Wow, you got such a nice voice.
Those are some good pipes.
Wow, yeah, you got some lungs.
Infection aside.
Infection of the lungs.
I'm sorry. I thought it was infection of the brain.
It's infection all over.
Oh, no.
It's
whole
entire
thing.
body. You know when it's just like points where the pain is,
Yeah.
and the whole
body.
thing's red.
Whole body
That's your
infection. I'm so sorry. I don't know why we've decided
I don't
suddenly.
know.
So that is the new challenge. That is fan art. I guess the last thing we can do before we get into it is give you a campaign update. I can't. Are you yawning? No.
No, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Him with a shocked Pikachu.
Hit him with a thumbnail photo. Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Oh God.
Oh God, it's absolutely.
We sit there in silence, both just going.
It's the most unbearable thing on earth.
I don't mind it.
It's terrible, terrible banter.
I think it's loads of fun.
Yeah, do you? You like that?
It's alright. I'm impartial to the thumbnails.
Yeah, I hate doing the thumbnails. Oh, it's awful. You know what's even worse than doing them? Having to fucking look at them and having to cut our faces out, having to scrub through and watch us go from to.
What would I have rolled? A 13.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Well, you'll never know. Even though you probably could just rewind this back and look at the table, but you'll never know because you wouldn't do that because
that's void. That's null and void.
Yeah, you have an infection of the eye, the brain,
of the eye, the brain,
body. So
the everything.
So let's get into the campaign update because this is a juicy one.
It's they're all pretty juicy at the minute.
They're all, you know,
they're all quite juicy now.
We were talking in the watch party when we were on last Monday's watch party when we gave the update, and everyone was saying you guys are in for a wild ride from now on.
Yeah.
And aren't we just? We're like at the pinnacle now. We're at the peak.
Yeah, we're sort of like end game stuff.
Yeah. We're probably going to do we're going to do this arc, and then we're really into the last.
Yeah.
The last arc.
Like I think Abby's will tie quite heavily into the end game anyway.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
So, you know, it is, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Fair enough. No. Fair enough. Abby, shut your ears. Yeah. Shut him. Get him shut, Abigail.
Hit her with a full name.
Hit her with the Sunday name.
Hit her with the Sunday
Doxer. Give her full address.
Yeah. Scary.
Date of birth. Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Campaign update. We finished last campaign update with we had a combat in Zis's house in Scaloness. I don't think I didn't even mention this. We fought an Eramad. One of those nasty things, like it's like a big dog that has basically a void for a face.
Yeah,
and it
looks like a greyhound. It was in Critical Role Campaign 3 and I saw it, and because they were in the Feywild when they fought it, I was like, well, I'm going to have loads of, because Vanaheim is
like
the Feywild, and they've all come through to
Midgard.
So I was like, I've got to put one of them in there.
Yeah, and it was so scary. Oh my God, there was a moment where it took my arm, like my arm went into like the void of its face, and you rolled, and you were just like, "No, you get to keep the arm.
You get to keep the arm."
And we were all like, "What do you mean? I get to keep the arm?
It doesn't fully take the arm, but you know, if you've got multi attack or something like that, it basically if your hand gets sucked into the void and you can't pull it out, you only get one attack and you go.
Terrible.
So
terrible news. Yeah. So that's where we ended the campaign.
That was it.
That's
the Aramad was the BBG.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So that's where we ended last session.
Yeah.
So we got what we came to the house for. We needed to get a vial of Zissa's blood so she could make Tia's blood. Sorry,
that Zissa had.
So Zissa could make another magical painting, so we could have the final one to step through into Vanaheim, get Tia, bring him back to Midgard. As this is happening, as we're looking around for it, we notice that there is a huge congregation of the creatures of Vanaheim standing outside, looking in the direction of kind of like a monument is the best way I can describe it.
It's like the center of the city.
Yeah, and the house we were in faced directly onto the center of the city, so we could see that something was going on. So we all take a minute, we all watch what's happening, and lo and behold, it's only Angerboda again. God, that woman works fast, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
She wastes no time. No.
She's got what she needs now.
No rest for the wicked.
She's moving.
Yeah, she's making moves, definitely.
She's making moves. She's making plays.
I respect that. I respect the hustle, to be honest. So, Angerboda is there, and she's kind of addressing all of these people of Vanaheim.
There's a couple of other people there as well.
Yep, there's giants there as well. And not only is giants there, there's all the children of Loki as well. So I mentioned in last week, we had seen Surtur pull herself out of the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
She rid all of the giants of the permafrost with her massive fire flail.
Yeah.
And we knew that she was out. We had also seen Jormungandr quite a while ago now.
Yeah.
We had never seen Fenrir. And lo and behold, Fenrir was there as well.
Fenrir turned up, Jormungandr turned up, Surtur turned up with all the giants.
Got the gang back
all
together.
All the Vanaheim people were there.
Yeah.
Angrboda was there.
So it was, a culmination of the worst group of people we could have possibly been face to face with. So Angrboda is giving a speech to the people of, Vanaheim. And the giants as well.
And the giants and the children.
And is basically addressing everyone, being like, we're gathered for a common purpose. The gods, Odin, has done us all dirty, basically. And if this coward, also to mention, King Frey is there as well.
Yeah.
Who is Freya, Odin's wife, her brother, her twin brother.
A twin.
Who, is obviously not happy at all of this as well. He is a very scary man. And she's basically just saying we're all here for a common purpose.
He rides a massive armored boar.
Yeah, he does. Very cool. Very nice. And she's like, and if this coward, Odin, she challenges Odin. She's like, Odin, come down. Come here and...
I know you can hear me.
And see...
Answer.
Face us.
Yeah.
And talk to us. Odin, of course, doesn't reply. So she's like, well, all right, if this coward isn't going to come out to us, we'll go to him. And she has the spark. And she basically creates like a planar gateway using the spark to Asgard, which is where all the gods are right now.
So in Norse mythology, the way to get like the portal place is called the Bifrost.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the bridge to Asgard.
Right.
So in the center of the main city of Midgard, there's like this. I always explain it as like, if you had a globe on a stand and it's got that sort of like hook around it and then the stand.
Yeah.
It's like that without the globe in the middle.
Yeah.
So she brings the spark over and she puts it inside there as if it was like the ball globe to the stand. And then out of this bridge that's built out of like, there's loads of little bricks with like golden mason or golden cement around them, all building like the beginning of a bridge.
Yeah.
But the bridge like leads to nowhere.
Yeah.
She puts the spark in, and where the bridge ends, you see out of the back of it becomes this rainbow bridge that begins to rise.
When you said rainbow bridge, I was like, oh,
what?
Dead dog.
Oh, is that the crack?
Yeah.
So the Bifrost is always depicted as a rainbow bridge.
Oh,
in
no.
In Norse mythology.
That's why when you said it, I laughed because I was trying not to cry.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's a rainbow bridge that basically goes into the sky and goes to Asgard.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Very visually, very cool. And she's like, come on then, lads.
Let's go. If they aren't going to come to us,
let's go to them.
Let's head there.
As this is happening, there's like, I wonder if you're going to get this based on the description. It might be best if you give the description here, because as soon as you gave the description, we were all like, we know exactly who this is.
No, you can do it.
Jack described it as there was like a swirling of dark clouds and thunder and lightning. And there was like the crack of lightning and like the growl of thunder. And it like struck down, and a big mace, axe, hammer.
You're doing great. Keep going.
Which one?
It's Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. A hammer?
Yeah.
Basically pirouettes through the sky, lands on the ground. Who do you think we're talking about here?
Well, they already know because I said Mjolnir.
Oh, we're talking about Thor, aren't we? We're only talking about Thor. And Jack obviously pulls up a photo, and I know for a fact all of us were like, that is absolutely Thor. Because if you didn't know, Angrboda is the wife to Loki. Loki is the brother to Thor. Thor and Loki are the children to Odin. It's a whole thing. Everyone's tied up with one another here, right? And it's only Thor. Thor comes down. Thor is like, look, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no idea what my father has sacrificed. Like, don't do this. And he basically sacrifices himself to catch the gods sometime. And us as characters, we're in this house looking through. We knew we couldn't do anything. We knew that if we went down there, that was a death sentence.
You
we
were
were
severely
dead.
outnumbered.
Oh, I can't stress enough how it was Angerboda, the children, the people of Vanaheim, the giants, and King Frey. We wouldn't have survived.
No.
But Thor looked up and he looked directly at us.
At the window.
At the window. He knew we were there.
Yeah, he knew you were there.
And he sacrificed himself for us, and he destroyed the Rainbow Bridge. And he bought us some time to get out of there, basically, because as he did this, the children basically ravaged him.
Mm-hmm.
Angerboda used the spark to drain his life source from him, and he sacrificed himself. And it was pretty hard, I think. Well, I can only speak for Rayla. It was pretty hard for Rayla to see, because Rayla's kind of been battling with the idea of her gods and deities, and she felt betrayed by her gods. She lost them, and now she's found them again, and they're more than just gods; they're her kin now. And I think she's going through a really I don't want to say evangelical Christian thing, but she's kind of going back through finding her faith again.
Yeah.
And it's such a strange dynamic, because Priestess is going through kind of the exact opposite. Priestess is losing her faith. Priestess is saying that the gods can't help us.
So something that I wanted, another, along with the sort of who's the bad guy theme, there's very much a theme of, it's the gods in this world, the gods aren't end all be all.
Righteous. And
it's not even that they're not righteous. They don't have every answer.
Yeah.
It's in most campaigns, the gods are untouchable. In this campaign, the gods are very much touchable.
Yeah, the gods are very much just kind of people.
Strong people.
Yes.
Really strong people.
Yeah.
And, if you went one-on-one with a god, then that's it, you're fucked. But, they aren't just these superhuman, nowhere, they are just within reach.
Yeah, and I think, Priestess said it out loud. Priestess was like, what are the gods thinking? How have they just sent another god, Odin's son, basically knowing he was going to die? How could they do that? To buy them some more time? Odin's too much of a coward to face up to what he's done. And it was a really weird juxtaposition of Priestess thinking all of these things. Priestess also used sending to talk to her god, by the way, when this was happening. And Fafnir was like, listen, don't get involved.
Yeah, we've got it handled.
We've got it handled. And Priestess is very much doesn't look like you've got it handled.
They don't have all the answers.
Yeah, and I think that's...
And it's because in every campaign, if you've got somebody like a cleric,
or
you've got somebody I don't know, anybody else who sort of follows a god, you follow a god, a druid, it's they all have this, when you turn to your parents when you're young, and you get a little bit older and you realize that they don't have every answer to every question, but you think they do.
Yes.
It's sort of like that.
When you grow up, you realize that your parents are just people.
Yeah, at the beginning of the campaign, TRP was very much but Fafnir has all the answers. Fafnir this, Fafnir that, Fafnir.
Yeah.
And it very much became I think it was the moment where you found that Lothnir, Fafnir's brother, had been actually caught, and there was no knowledge being spread. And I think Abby was a little bit well, how? You're a god.
Yeah.
And it's that doesn't mean everything in this world.
Exactly. And it's a really weird juxtaposition between our characters at the minute, because Rayla went from, she's never really been that too much into gods. You know, she had a god and she was told that's what she had to believe in when she was growing up. But, for her, it's a little bit different now. And I think she's viewing the gods more as family. Yeah. And Priestess is viewing them more as people who keep fucking up over and over again. And it's really interesting. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent there, but it's really interesting, the dynamic that's going on there, and feeling how our characters are feeling. I know all this because Abby came around and we watched some really terrible YouTube videos together and talked loads about D&D. Great. Anywho, Thor sacrificed himself. We managed to get out of there.
Yes.
Basically, we all managed to escape together. The group that we were with, they teleported over to... Oh no, they didn't. We changed plans.
We all teleported to Grindel.
We changed plans. We basically used the teleportation scroll. We teleported to Grindel, which is Hermeta, Matthew's hometown. We had a bit of a reunion with some people. It was very nice, very pleasant.
The whole campaign, Matthew's been... through the Fimble winter, Matthew was taken. and his village like fell while he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And like the whole campaign, Matthew's been like, go to Grindle to any like wanderers, and go to Grindle to anyone who's like lost the home. And he sort of like built this little safe space. So I was like, I really want him to like have this moment where he goes back and like all of the NPCs, because everyone's lost their homes now because Vanaheim's basically taken over.
Yeah.
The Giants have taken over. So it was like for Matthew to feel like he did something worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to make that like the hub.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Now,
and it is the hub now. Yeah.
Now it's the hub.
And thank God, because we've sent some really strong, powerful people there. It couldn't have worked out better, to be honest. And it was really nice for Matthew and Humetta in turn to see like that it was flourishing, granted under dire circumstances, but flourishing nonetheless. So we had a bit of a catch up. We saw King Ingvar again, and we reunited him with his mother Zissa.
Yeah.
Real nice. We saw Dagmar again. Talked about fish with Dagmar for a little bit.
Dagmar's been fishing.
We saw the warriors who we fought. We saw Jade, and Rayla made a bit of a pass at her.
Bit of a sexy comment.
And I'll leave it there. And then we moved on. We decided to get a boat. Abby made the great suggestion. She was like, basically on the map, the areas we need to go are kind of on the coast, basically.
Yeah, you're at Grindle, which is right over to the east.
Yeah.
And then the Elverum Forest, which is where you're from, is also on the east, but further down.
Yeah, so Abby was just like, why don't we just get a boat? Great suggestion. Don't know why we didn't think about that prior. So we say our farewells. We tell some people to meet us at the Bildsfell Crater, or to go get Tia.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Yggdrasil and deal with Nidhogg. Before we go, the wizard Thurin, who we had made an ally with before, he said to us, I have something that will help you with Nidhogg. And he gave us 3 stakes, which are basically like banishment stakes.
They're like anyone who's watched campaign 1, called the things that they stab into Vecna to banish Vecna.
This is campaign 1 of Critical Role.
Campaign 1 of Critical Role, yeah. What are they called?
I have absolutely no clue. They work like that, basically. We have to get these staked, we stab them into Nidhogg, and then we have a plus to the DC for the spell Banishment. Abby has Banishment. Josh now has Banishment.
If they stab one in, it's just an attack roll. So you stab one in.
Yeah.
And if you roll a 1, it shatters.
Yep.
You got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Every time one successfully gets stabbed in, it basically brings the DC up of a banishment by 2.
Yeah.
So Abby's is currently 17, so it'd be 19, then it'd be 21, then it'd be 23.
Yeah, which is great, which, Nidhogg's going to have a lot, basically. So that was really helpful. We have a game plan when we get to Nidhogg.
And he...
We have a game plan when we get to Nidhogg. We are going to try and stab the 3 of these stakes in. Abby's going to try and banish him. If Abby fails, Josh is going to try and banish him. And if that all fails, we're just going to have a fight to the death, baby.
Josh had a big brain move.
He did have a big
Josh
brain
has
move.
a Rod of Absorption, but it's not quite exactly like the Rod of Absorption in the game. So if somebody casts a spell on him, he can basically like use counterspell rules to try and absorb the spell, and then he gets a free cast of that spell.
Yes.
So he was like, Abby, can you just keep banishing me? Because we're going to have a long rest.
Yeah.
So if you banish me and I'll try and absorb it, and that means tomorrow, if all of yours fail,
I can help
I'll have
as
a
well.
banishment in the rod.
Yeah.
So
he's got it, which is great.
Yeah.
So
clever little sausage is our Josh.
Yeah. Oh, he is. He's a thinker.
He is a thinker.
He is a thinker. So we set off from Grindal. We say our farewells. And we set off for Yggdrasil, which in the Elverum Forest is my backstory. Nidhogg has a lot to do with Rayla. Yggdrasil, the Elverum Forest, is where Rayla's from. It's going to kick off my backstory, which is very
I don't know if
exciting.
people understand why you're connected.
Oh, okay. So
do you want me to do it? Do you want to do it?
Well, to be fair, it has been a long time since we've explained it. I am conscious of time.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I think it probably would be good to give you a bit of a rundown on Rayla's situation.
Yeah.
And you can do it.
So, okay, it's not that complicated. A long time ago, before like the humankind was in the realms, Fenrir got put in Vanaheim.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 children called Skoll and Hati, and Odin took them and basically roamed the plane of Midgard, getting rid of any evils before he was going to bring like other races in. There was one particular naughty sausage in Midgard called Nidhogg.
Mm-hmm.
And what Nidhogg does, and what Nidhogg's like purpose is he swims the seas of Helheim, like eating any stragglers and consuming their souls and stuff like that. And he basically wormed his way through to Midgard and was like, oh, there's loads of people here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chew the roots of Yggdrasil and have the whole of Midgard plummet into Helheim. So I'm going to have like
a big snack,
infinite souls to just munch on.
Yeah.
Skolhati and Odin defeated Nidhogg and sent him back to Helheim.
Yep.
And basically shackled him there so he couldn't come back.
Yeah.
In Stockvagen, a place that's to do with Josh's backstory.
Yep.
Lofnir had been captured by a wizard called Mirrodin.
Yeah.
Because Lofnir flies over Midgard and like distributes knowledge on everyone. And Mirrodin was a very evil, greedy wizard who was like, I want it all, so
I'm going to catch Lofnir.
I'm going to catch Lofnir. Caged Lofnir up. So all of the wizards of Stockvagen were like, where the fuck's Lofnir? Let's get Lofnir back. Let's perform a ritual.
We'll target Lofnir
and bring him back.
Obviously, Mirrodin sat there like, Lofnir's in my basement.
Lofnir's literally in my tower, and I can't have this.
So...
And he was the one who prepared like the scripts for the thing, so he slides in the wrong script.
He just randomly goes through a book. He just rips a page out that has like a mythical being in it, slaps it in. It's only Nidhogg. So Lofnir stays captured in Mirrodin's tower. Yep.
Nidhogg gets released.
Yep.
They need a human sacrifice, which is Josh.
Yep.
Josh and Rayla meet.
Yep.
And that's how they tie together.
Yep.
So they go back to there to figure out Josh's backstory. And as they figure out Josh's backstory, they realize that because of Josh's human sacrifice, they released Nidhogg.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really explained it as black and white as that before. So yeah, me and Josh, we're tied together in a strange way.
Just by two bindings of fate.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Skull and Hati now chase the sun and moon through the sky. That is their job.
Yep.
Odin set them to do that because he basically a long time ago the sun hung in the sky for far too long.
Yeah.
So he was like, I need this to hurry up.
Yeah.
So that sort of cycle began. So they knew that they needed if any like evil like that ever attacked Midgard again, they needed something similar to them, but not them because they're busy.
Yeah.
So they basically manifested something called Vendari in Midgard that would be awakened and attach itself to somebody perfect for the job when something was released. Nidhogg was released, which triggered Vendari.
Yeah. We don't know why Vendari has attached to me yet. Which is, I'm assuming, something that we're going to figure out, but, that ties in really well with Rayla. Vendari has attached to Rayla now. She didn't know this for the longest time. In fact, she's only really kind of coming to terms with it now. And that kind of explains why she never felt like she was at home. She always felt different. When she woke up after her gods promised that they were going to be, her family were taken care of and taken to be with them while Ragnarok happened. Rayla felt like she deserved to be left because she felt so different, and she was different. And that's why, because she could never really be.
So when everybody else ascended, Rayla didn't, and she didn't know why.
Yeah.
And
the reason she didn't ascend is because she is Vendari.
Because she's Vendari.
Vendari's attached to her, and she had to stay here to deal with Nidhogg. But why Vendari attached to her, we're not sure. I'm assuming that's something we're probably going to find out very shortly. So, yeah, that's kind of Rayla's beef. So, Rayla knows the being within her, Vendari, is their sole purpose is to stop Nidhogg. And therefore, it's Rayla's sole purpose to stop Nidhogg. And Rayla didn't realize this for a long time. She's only coming to terms with it now. The only thing she wanted in her whole life was to see her family again. But now she realizes that there's bigger things, which, she's conflicted with because she's so loyal to her family and loyal to her friends. And the idea that there's bigger things that potentially could be more important than your blood and than your friends is something that's quite strange to her. So that's what Rayla's thinking right now. So anywho, we have to go fight Nidhogg. Sorry, there is still so much left of this campaign update.
there's a bit.
There's quite a bit left. So we're in a boat. We're on our way. We're having a little bit of a chit chat, and I don't know if you remember, quite a long time ago now, when it was the full moon, Vendari took over Rayla, and Rayla couldn't control it, and she turned on her friends because Nidhogg was taunting her. Nidhogg knows Rayla has Vendari in her, and Nidhogg was taunting her and basically showed Rayla like an illusion that her friends were being controlled and that Nidhogg was killing them. So she attacked her friends thinking she was attacking Nidhogg.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was real bad, but it hasn't happened since. We're on a rickety little fishing boat.
Rickety tiny little fishing boat.
In the middle of the water.
On the way, nearly there.
And Jack's like, Margaret, roll a wisdom saving
No,
throw.
it wasn't just a wisdom saving throw. She was basically Josh polymorphed himself into a shark to pull the boat. That spell ran out, so you were like, oh, I'll wild shape into a giant octopus and pull the boat. And just as you were getting ready and they were tying the ropes around you to pull the boat, you turned around.
And Priestess was like, here.
And like the theme of Nidhogg is like there's lots of roots and vines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And every time she's seen somebody like under Nidhogg's influence.
Yeah, trigger warning for this.
Is it?
Yeah, I would say so.
There's all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I agree. There is like a vine that's like wrapped around the neck.
Yeah.
And their eyes are like the sickly green color.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like they're like pulled up off the ground, hoisted off the ground,
mm-hmm.
And they're like moved by the root
mm-hmm,
of the vine. So she turns around, and all three of her friends in the boat are
once again being essentially hung by Nidhogg, and this is exactly what happened when she lost herself the first time round.
Yeah.
And Nidhogg's just toying with her again. Nidhogg knows we're coming close.
Getting closer and closer, and he's trying to sabotage as much as possible because you think he might be a little bit scared.
He's a little bit scared, isn't he? He's a little bit of a baby.
Because he knows the one thing that's like his weakness is Vendari.
And he's trying to scare us, which, fair enough.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty spooky.
But I somehow saved.
Yeah.
I saved against it.
Yeah.
And it was all good. Didn't go batshit in a boat. I can't imagine a worse situation, to be honest, than Rayla losing control and going batshit in that boat. That would have been real bad for everyone involved. So, yeah, she was fine. We park it up. We have a long rest. And then Rayla has a dream.
Has a bit of a dream.
Nidhogg comes to her. And this is the first time Rayla and Nidhogg have really had like a conversation, I think. And Nidhogg is basically like, wow, this is it, huh? This is you.
This is the thing that's supposed to be able to defeat me.
Well, I think you said you're nothing but a pup.
Yeah, you're nothing but a pup.
And you cannot control yourself. You think you can control this being and you can't. And he was basically like the words, not words of affirmation. What's the other one? Negative reinforcement.
Yes.
Of all the worries and doubts Rayla had about herself leading up to this. And they were just personified through Nidhogg, basically. And Nidhogg was like, well, show me then. And Rayla was like, no, I'm not, actually. I'm not going to show you who I am because that's for when I fucking kill you, basically. And Nidhogg's like, all right, then I'll just make you do it then. That's fine. Constricts me and is starting to force me
to wild shape
into Vendari. And this, and this is the whole point. Rayla has never been able to control it. So once again, her control was completely being taken away from her. And she's fighting this losing battle. And then Skull and Hearty, her gods, come to her and, kind of her kin at this point. And Skull was like, you've come this far and you can control it. But the missing part that you don't have yet, Rayla, is you have to lose control to gain control.
Yeah, so it's the idea is like the whole time was like the word control was always mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to like it's like a beast.
Yeah, you have to control yourself, control your primal instincts.
Like when you first like the Midnight Trials is about like can you pull yourself back from the animal or will you just turn into an animal and continue.
Yeah.
And the whole thing for the whole backstory was like Vendari is something so hard to control. Like only somebody who is like strong enough can do it.
Yeah.
So it was like control. And,
Rayla branded the word control into herself. So every single time she had to control it, she could try and remember that searing pain and try to control it.
Try to control it. And she succeeded, I think it was like 3 times. And the last time was in the boat on the way. So that was like the final test that she needed.
Yeah.
So in the dream, it was like, you can't lose something that you never had in the first place.
Yeah.
And the whole point was you need to gain control to be able to lose it correctly.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I was like, roll me wisdom saving throw. And like they give this big speech about like losing control. And I was like, the urge is creeping up. What do you do? And you like roll the dice and you were like...
You know what? I immediately rolled the dice because I was panicking. I wasn't thinking about what I was doing.
And I was like, no, forget the dice. I was like, what do you want to do?
And
you were like, I just let the urge take over.
Yeah, Rayla just, against all of her better judgment, trusts her God.
Just gave in.
She just let it happen.
And like, the whole point is like, you can't lose something that you never had in the first place.
Yeah.
So now she's gained control. She understands how she can lose it. It's like, we don't really watch Marvel, but I think it's like similar to the Hulk.
Oh, I have no idea.
Like, like if he fucking loses it, he can just go like too far and just start smashing shit up.
Right.
Which is what like Vendari can do. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's so animalistic that you can just like lose yourself within it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've been able to control it at this point means you can sort of like lose control enough to harness the power.
Yeah.
So now
Vendari's only just my wild shape permanently.
Yeah.
I've just got permanent stat block of Vendari, which...
So now it used to just be like the fire up one arm and the stars and the galaxies up the other.
Yeah.
Now it's...
I'm the full personification of Vendari now.
Split right down the middle.
Yeah. You know what? I was like, I need to get commission artwork of Rayla's wolf form.
A wolf with flames this side and galaxies this side.
Yeah. I really need to get that done. So
Nidhogg had like constricted like around the arms and the legs, and as soon as she turned into Vendari and she was able to control it, all of the roots and vines began to like retract as he like sort of hid in the darkness.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a back and forth, and Rayla was just like, "You are just fucking scared of me, and I know you're scared of me because if you weren't, you wouldn't be trying this." And she was like, "You know who I am. I've proven to you who I am, and I'm going to make you say my fucking name when I kill you, basically. And you're going to recognize me for who I am."
Yeah.
And Nidhogg pissed off.
Yeah, Nidhogg fucked off.
So it was nice. It was a nice liberating moment for Rayla.
Yeah.
I think finally she's been so scared of losing control because she doesn't want to hurt the people around her. And she feels worthless if she can't gain control. She feels weak if she can't gain control. So it was liberating in that moment for her to just give it up and realize that there's nothing wrong with giving it up because it only means that you're stronger than you think, basically. So it was really nice.
Yeah.
And Vendari's my permanent wild form now, wild shape form. So that's really good.
That's dead good.
So yeah, it all kind of happened at the perfect time, to be honest.
Yeah. So then you woke up and you started to walk through the Elven Forest to Yggdrasil.
The rest of it, basically, Rayla, when she lived at Yggdrasil and she was part of the Moonwatch before, their main job was to protect Yggdrasil. There was a lot of Draugr, which are basically like lost souls that just kind of wander the forest.
Yeah, that haven't been sent to
Valhalla yet,
Valhalla for some reason.
or to wherever they're going.
Helheim.
And they're kind of drawn to the World Tree. And Rayla's whole job and her whole family's job was to protect Yggdrasil.
Mm-hmm.
And she had said many times in the lead up that there was things like that in the forest. And lo and behold, there was many, 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 many Draugr. Somehow, we managed to avoid all of them.
You avoided them? Passed without a trace?
Don't know how. Jesus, there was a lot. I can't even think about how the next part would have gone if we had gotten into combat with Draugr.
Yeah.
But we avoided them, which was great. So we breach the forest into kind of the outer ring of Yggdrasil, which is where Rayla and her family, apart from her sister, because her sister lived in the inner ring, lived.
Yeah.
And just as we reach the the boundary of it. Jack's like, you see something. Once again,
trigger warning.
Trigger warning
For the same
here,
thing.
For the same thing. You see something hanging from a tree, and we're like, okay, well, we'll go take a look. And as we go up, we realize that it's a person and it's a body hanging, and it is
from a vine,
from a vine
root
hanging from the tree, and it is someone called Revna, who is the head of the Night Warriors. She is a fierce warrior. She's the lead. She's the one that everyone looks up to.
She's the one who chooses the people to go into the inner circle.
Yeah.
So to protect, like,
She's
the last line of defense.
She's a
tree.
very important person. She's a very powerful person, and she's an authority figure. That Rayla and Rayla are having a bit of a bad blood between them, because, as you all know, Rayla failed her midnight trials, and when you fail, you're not allowed to come back.
No.
However, Rayla's sister, who is one of the best Night Warriors they had, put in a good word for Rayla, twisted Ravena's arm, and Rayla was allowed to stay. So Rayla's kind of struck with this. She's devastated because it's an authority figure that she looked up to. She's kind of frightened at the idea that this person is presumed dead at this point. She wasn't. It was a trick. Turns out Nidhogg was controlling her the whole time. And Rayla obviously goes up and tries to cut her down. And then she attacks us, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a scary bitch.
Yeah, she's quite strong.
She's quite strong. We basically, Rayla's whole plan was to just get the root off of her. I wasn't thinking tactically with it. It was just something Rayla would have done. Turns out we could get the root off her, and then it would drop the charm on her, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we managed to get the root off of her.
Yeah.
It was a tough combat. Josh, oh my god, Josh rolled like dog shit.
Yeah, it didn't roll great.
Josh rolled the worst I've ever seen anyone roll in my life.
Yeah.
He got pulled into the ground.
Yeah, she had something called Roots of the Abyss, which came up and like grappled you, and if you failed enough checks, she would just drag you underneath.
It was so bad.
And Josh just failed 3 in a row, and he began to get pulled.
Yeah, into the ground, and he started suffocating. It was a whole thing. He's fine. Don't worry.
He's fine now.
He's fine now. And we basically free her. And when Revna wakes up, she comes back to consciousness. She sees Vendari. She's aware of who Vendari is. And she's like, thank God you're here. We never lost hope. You can help us solve this. Rayla is like, oh my God, this woman who hates me and who I'm kind of frightened of is praising me. But she doesn't know who I am. So Rayla drops the wild shape and is like, hi,
it's me.
It's actually me. And Revna's immediately like, what the fuck? Oh my God, this can't be true. It cannot be you, of all people. You are an unhonorable wench, basically.
Yeah, you basically, you had one chance, you failed that chance, we let you off the hook. That's the only reason you're still here, and you're the one.
And it's you?
It's you? You're Vendari?
Rayla's very feisty. She's not scared of anyone, anything. Apart from this one woman, again, who was kind of like the culmination of all of Rayla's doubts about herself.
Yeah.
You could argue that Revna is kind of the whole reason that Rayla doubts herself so much in the first place. And in that moment, Rayla went from being this beast to being like a child, and she was kind of taken back and not sure what to say. But you know what? Priestess and Hermeta, they immediately jumped in. It's gonna make me emotional. They immediately jumped in for her, and they were like, you don't fucking know her. You don't know anything about her. Like, and if you don't shut the fuck up, we'll make you shut up. And it was really nice. It was really nice for me and for Rayla to see that her friends jumped in for her without being asked. Immediately had a problem with this woman talking to Rayla like this. I think it's because Rayla is the same for them. She's always stood up for her friends. She's always maybe been a bit too zealous with standing up for her friends.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. And in that moment, Rayla was able to see that, yeah, fuck that, actually. Her friends are right. Rayla has been through a lot of things, and she has grown and she has changed. and she can control herself. And Rayla dusted the dust off of her. She went face to face with Revna. She said, "You can either leave right now or you can come with me because I'm going to do this regardless of what you think." She got a natural 20 on an intimidation check.
Which is perfect timing.
It was a perfect timing.
Perfect moment.
And Revna was just like, "Fine, I'll come." And Rayla was like, "Yeah, you will, actually." And then she had a moment where she was like, "Don't fucking call me Rayla anymore. Call me by my name, which is Vendari." And it was just a really cool moment.
After the session, Matthew was like, "Do you want us to call you Vendari?"
He was like, "Do you want us all to call you Vendari?"
And she was like, "No,
it was a power move.
It was just a power move. It was just a power move. Don't worry about it. It was just a power move."
So, yeah, that was really long.
Yeah.
I do apologize.
It was good though. And, next session is
Nidhogg time, baby.
Nidhogg fight.
Yeah, it's all hotting up now.
It's the sort of fight where it's like, this thing is so strong that it's like you need another way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like,
we can't just kill it.
They're called the Divine Tremors. I remembered halfway through, but I didn't want to interrupt you. The Divine Tremors, it's not something, you can probably go toe-to-toe with it, but you may lose a person or two.
Yes.
So the only way that you're going to succeed with no casualties, fingers crossed, is if you banish it.
Yes.
So it's going to be a tough fight, like a really tough fight. We may sit here next week reporting a casualty. We never know.
I think if anyone's going to die, it's probably going to be in this fight, to be honest.
Yeah, this sort of endgame fight.
Yeah.
We had a lot of big fights coming up now.
Yeah, a lot of big fights. And I think this is like the beginning of the floodgates.
It's the beginning of the floodgates. And I don't know, it's like we said before, like, Margaret was... Margaret's a big backstory person, and it's taken quite a long time. There was basically a fork in the road in the middle stage of where we were now, probably about 10 or 15 sessions ago, where we could have either come to do Margaret's stuff now, or we carried on with the main plot line, and everyone chose to carry on with the main plot line.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, because of that, it's just sort of built up like way more hype for this.
Yeah, agreed. And you know what?
Everyone's nervous for next session,
yeah,
which is tomorrow.
Like, as me as a person, I really appreciate that my friends are they're so hyped for me.
Yeah.
Like they.
It's okay.
Like, they're so hyped for me.
They are hyped for you.
They're really excited to see like my character's backstory.
Yeah.
I just love my friends.
And it's playing out in front of them right now, and I feel like that moment where you, like, after the fight when she realized it was you, I don't think it would have had as much weight earlier on in the campaign.
Agreed.
Because of everything Rayla's gone through, and like the identity crisis because basically that's been her whole backstory.
Yeah, it has been very much so.
It's been like, why was I left behind? Oh, it's because I'm this person, but I can't control it, so I'm obviously not good enough. And like getting to this point has been like a huge like thing for Rayla, and now she's here.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as that thing happened, and for the second where Rayla was like, "Oh shit!" Like it's Revna, and she doesn't think, and everyone else was like, "You're wrong."
Yeah, everyone, and you know what? Priestess doesn't have an attitude with anyone, and Priestess was like, "You need to sort your fucking attitude out. You need to get a grip because it's going this way, whether you like it or not." And it was just really nice, and for me as a player, it's really nice. Like, for my friends to be so excited for me, like, you can tell they're all excited for me, and our group does this wonderfully. Our group, when it's time for someone's moment, they're really great, all of us, at pushing each other into the limelight and saying, "It's your turn. We're going to follow you. We'll do whatever you want us to do." It's really nice. It's get you a D&D group that does that for you.
It's a big one. Next session's a big one.
So
everyone needs to be prepared and ready.
The next Monday, we may report to you with a death or two,
or a massive success.
We
don't know.
We have absolutely no idea how it's going to go.
But we're excited.
Yes, and I hope you're excited.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.
I hope that was good for you to listen to.
There probably won't be that much story next week because there's probably going to be massive
fight.
Combat.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yep. Might be some tears. Might not be some tears. There was already tears now.
There's tears now. So who knows?
Everyone in the watch party, specifically because you can't pause this. How are you doing? I hope you're all right. So yes. big up our D&D group, big up our friends. Thank you for being so wonderful. Thank you for being such great people to play with.
And thanks for wanting to hear it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And thank you for being a great DM.
Thank you for being a great player.
Giving all of us everything we could have ever wanted from our backstories.
What?
yeah. But it's great, and we all enjoy it, so...
The thing is, most of you do it yourselves. You know, like, I put things in play... Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because it's like I only put the things in play, like the lore in play and the story in play. Like you are the ones that like think about how your characters feel about it. Like I want to evoke some emotions and stuff like that. But you know, like you're the ones that it's only a story if you don't actually apply any sort of like context to it.
It's almost like it's a collaborative storytelling game, innit?
You fill in the gaps.
Oh well, you give us the gaps
to fill.
Oh.
Great, yeah.
Yes, so, wow, thank you. The dog is laying on the floor.
I don't know why.
He must be warm.
I think he's bored.
An hour into the podcast.
Let's go.
Shall we get into today's topic?
What's today's topic?
Well, today's topic, as you can see from the title, contrary to popular belief, is Am I the Arsehole D&D edition. Very nice, very cool, very restful, or unrestful.
Potential.
Who knows?
We did say from now on we weren't going to do submissions for Am I the Arsehole because, you know, first of all, we don't like calling you assholes, and most of the time you're not an asshole, and that's why you submit the story.
Yeah.
So it ended up more being a horror story. So a couple of people have maybe didn't know.
Yeah, to be fair, we only mentioned it like briefly in a video.
Yeah.
So, you know, how are people going to know if we've mentioned it once?
So there's a couple of submissions here.
Yes, I think actually the majority are submissions.
And then there's some pulled from Reddit as well.
Yes, so shall we just get into it?
Let's do it, baby. Number one.
Okay.
It's not called number one, is it? What's it called?
What's it called? Infection number one. Infectiono.
Infectiono.
Number one. This was submitted by Anonymous, and they didn't give any pronouns, so we'll just call them they, them.
They, them, Anonymous. Thank you very much for your submission.
So, am I the arsehole for giving my DM an idea that made our lives harder?
Ooh.
During our campaign, we just had a fight, and all of us had used up all of our spell slots. We had just stolen a boat, and we were on the run. We all needed to take a long rest, but we had to take turns in case we got attacked. My DM had a rule that a long rest has to be uninterrupted, or else they have to start over again, or just get a short rest. Unrestful. I threw out an idea to him, and he loved it. If a long rest gets interrupted, or they only get 7 hours of rest instead of 7... Instead of 8, sorry.
7 hours instead of 7.
7.
You work the maths out.
You do the math. Then that person can still have the effects of a long rest, but they will also have to take a level of exhaustion. Long story short, we all got a long rest, but 2 of us, myself included, and then we got a level of exhaustion, so we had to roll at disadvantage for checks. I thought it made the game a little bit more interesting, but I could tell that the other player, who was exhausted, was annoyed with me.
Just over from the room, just going like this.
Man. I feel a bit bad because he had some cool things he wanted to do, but he failed his checks. Am I the arsehole?
I don't think you're intentionally the arsehole.
No, I don't think you were intentionally the arsehole.
I don't even think you are the arsehole because I think some people would like to play like that.
Yeah, I think what this is this is a masterclass in you can't just randomly throw a rule out and then implement it there and then.
Nah, you got to... A new rule has to be session 0 or at the beginning of the session, everyone votes on it. Is it right? Because it's like, it's not just the DM who can decide if rules are in or not.
Yeah.
The players have to.
Especially if it's like a detriment to players, which you could argue that like...
It 100%.
Well, especially with exhaustion rules the way they are now.
Yeah. Old exhaustion, just do yourself a favor, DMs. Get rid of the old exhaustion rules.
Just use the new one.
And just use the new ones because if you want to add exhaustion in the game, it's so much easier to add it in and it not be so punishing.
Debilitating.
We've had loads of exhaustion in this campaign.
We have, yeah, and it's still felt bad, but my God, it hasn't felt anywhere near as bad as it could have been.
Yeah,
Jesus. So I don't think you're the asshole here.
No,
I think I can see how that would be annoying. I could see how if you were sat around a table and someone's like, a point of exhaustion.
And you know, like a lot of people do think like, oh, right, tomorrow I'll do this. Tomorrow I'll like make this check and I'll do this thing. And to have those plans just shit upon because your DM made a rule in the middle of the game.
I think if anyone's the asshole here, it's probably the DM for being like, I love that idea. Right, we're all doing it now. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with saying, oh, could we do this, and agreeing in that moment, but like, don't do it there and then. Just say, going forward after this, that's how it's going to work, and everyone has to agree.
It's not just about the DM.
Everyone has to agree.
The DM can't just make the rules. Like, if it's an extra rule upon the written rules,
would you say that the rules are the rules
and the facts are the facts,
and when the rules come out, you gotta pay the tax. Exhaustion tax.
Oh, nice.
Exhaustion tax.
If it's a new rule, like, just because you're the dungeon master doesn't mean you get to just implement your rules, because that's not how it works.
Yeah, it has to be run by everyone.
Everyone has to agree, especially if it's a new rule in the middle of a campaign that you haven't done before. Like, you got to do it at the beginning. Boo! Don't like
agreed.
that.
Yeah, agreed.
Look, I love implementing new rules. I think of new rules all the time that I want to implement.
Yeah, you do.
And, you know, at the beginning of the session, I'm like, right, housekeeping, couple of new rules.
Yeah.
What do we think of this?
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a couple that have been turned down, and that's fine. But there's a couple that have been implemented. And if we implement them and we don't like them,
we can just take them out. Yeah, I know. For it just to happen like that. I don't think anyone's the asshole here. The only person that I think could be is potentially the DM.
I think the DM is a bit
for just being like, I love that. Yeah, we're doing that.
We're doing that right now.
Boo! That's not how to handle it.
No,
boo. No, anonymous.
You're not the
asshole. I don't think you're the asshole. But I understand why you would feel bad, and I understand why people would be annoyed with you as well.
Yeah,
like,
but you know, like. You're not. It's a group. It should be a group vote.
It should be a group decision.
Not the DM just being like,
you know what? If you were like, this is the way it is. This is the best way to do it. We should do it like that. Then like, you'd be the asshole. The thing is,
right? You're saying if you get 7 hours, right? That means no one's taken watch ever.
Well, yeah.
So that means every single person who takes a watch gets a point of exhaustion.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, because if you take a watch, it's like an hour or 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's...
We use long rest. 8 hours is just like you aren't doing anything strenuous within those hours.
Anything unrestful.
This is unrestful.
It's unrestful.
This is basically the unrestful thing.
Unrestful.
If you... That means you also can't have midnight combats, because if there's a combat within the middle of the night...
Jesus Christ, you're not going to recover from that, are you?
If you wake up and have the fight, that means you're not getting exactly 8 hours, which means you're not getting a long rest and you get a point of exhaustion.
And then it's like, could you even have another long rest after that? Would you have to start from 0 again after that? Yeah, boo.
That's why these things don't work.
Yeah. So, sorry, that's kind of off topic. But you're not the asshole, but I would be annoyed at you. Unrestful. Okay, so this has been submitted by Lummy91 on TikTok, and he goes by him. Thanks, Lummy91.
Cheers, Lummy.
So I'm a DM of a few months, and I run 2 online games with people I met in the D&D Beyond forum.
Oh, cool.
The understanding with my players has always been that I'm a new DM who is learning the ropes myself, and I know I don't always make the right calls, but I'm open to being challenged and to learn. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Cool.
Tonight, because some of the regular players had to cancel, I ran a one-shot side quest for some of the players. 2 of them were regulars from this session, playing their regular characters, and the other 2 were a player from my other group and his wife, who doesn't normally play with us, and they both rolled new characters for this session, with the idea being that I could potentially use them as NPCs later on in this campaign.
Cool.
The side quest went well. They slayed the dragon and looted a bunch of treasure. As part of their loot, they got a gem each, which could grant wishes.
Ooh.
But with each wish, it would decrease an ability score by 1 permanently, but they knew this upon receiving them. A few wishes were made immediately.
Uh-oh.
And the player from my other group started to wish for all of them to be caved in because they had been so greedy. As the character had to say this out loud, they got cut off by the other characters, and this created a big division and mistrust between the 2 pairs. So just in case you're not following, the 2 regulars did loads of wishes. The 2 people from the other group who aren't regulars in this game were like, you're being so greedy here. And there's a little bit of tension between like the oldies and the newies.
Okay.
I had expected them to exit the cave and go their separate ways, thus ending the session. But a series of shenanigans with the wish-granting gems ended in conflict, and the 2 regular players killed the 2 new players. This didn't seem to go down well, and the husband and wife said bye, and they left the call abruptly at the end of the session, and he sounded pissed. During all of this, I had to make a few calls as the DM about the semantics of wording of a wish and how long it would take them to make a wish, in particular if it was less than 6 seconds. I can see that some of the calls I made ultimately disadvantaged the new couple, but this was absolutely not intentional on my part. I was trying to be as fair as I could, and even made a luck of the roll for a tough decision. I tried to get the players to roll as much as possible so that their fate was in the hands of the dice, but I did have to make decisions, and the result was the newcomers' deaths. I feel like they, particularly the husband that I play with every week, is pissed off at me. I sent a message to say sorry if their fun was ruined at the end, but that I enjoyed playing with them and I loved their characters. I've had no response yet. Am I the arsehole? And do you have any advice on what I could do next to rebuild bridges?
That is tough. So I imagine...
I put this one in, right, because I think we're going to have different opinions here. Okay. With you as a DM and understanding kind of the inner workings, and me as a player not really knowing that.
So, to my understanding, and I think I'm going to have to speculate slightly here.
We are going to have to speculate a little bit.
What happened was the two new players began to wish for greedy things. Or
the two old
players, the two normal players in this campaign, began to wish for things, being greedy.
Yes.
In the eyes of the new players.
In the eyes of the new players.
The new player was basically said above table, like, these two are being greedy. I'm gonna wish for a cave in.
Yeah.
And then began to wish that. And because the other two players knew, because they did above table, began to kill that player.
Yeah.
And interrupt the wish.
They didn't begin to kill that player at that point. They just interrupted the player.
Right.
And then they got out of the cave. There was some more wishes made that we don't know what they were. And then they started to fight. And the two regulars killed the two newcomers, basically. And the DM is saying here, I was instrumental in this because I ultimately had to make decisions that did lead to the newcomers dying. And the DM's asking, are they the asshole in this situation? Because
I think in this situation, I think everybody is the asshole.
Agreed.
I think the new player for causing the cave-in.
Yeah.
It's a bit asshole behavior.
Yeah.
To
come into someone's established game.
And do that.
And be like, you're so greedy, I'm going to cause a cave-in. To the newcomers, it's like a one-shot for them, right?
Yeah, so it's like, it doesn't matter what I do because
their characters are kind of
dispensable,
right?
And, I think sometimes that knowledge gets on top of you. It's like, I'm not here permanently. I'm only here for one session.
These people are pissing me off. I can kind of do whatever.
I can do whatever I want. And it's like, you got to understand that this campaign still has to go on without you there next week.
Yes. But then for the other players to kill them, to simply be like, well, we're just going to kill them then. And we're going to do all these wishes. And I wonder what these scores were, by the way. They said it comes with like a permanent skill, ability score decrease. People must have been on fucking minuses.
Yeah, but some people don't care. It's like min-maxers are happy to take a minus in something they don't care about, you know what? To buff something they do.
Especially the people who would this was just a one-shot to them.
Yeah.
But, kind of the issue has arose here with the DM saying, like, yeah, I had to make some decisions, and yeah, it led to the death of newcomers, and now the newcomers are saying that I played favorites, and I let them die, and I actually made them die, and now they're not replying to me.
I mean, yeah, but you got to remember that this isn't your proper campaign.
Yeah, you know what? God, this is a really hard one.
It's tough because it's like, if that happened at my table, I would fucking desperately try not to. But if I was in this exact situation, and I had to basically pick, they wouldn't stop fighting. Mm-hmm. The fighting was going to happen. Mm-hmm. There was nothing I could do about the fighting, and someone was going to die.
Yeah.
Then the new players who have not a little bearing over the campaign in comparison to the other players, but at the same time, it's like, the people trying to kill the new players, the established players, that's asshole behavior as well.
It's like everyone's ganging up on everyone.
Yeah, everyone's just
like
fighting.
And you know what? I think if this had happened at our table, you would have stopped it.
I'd try to stop it.
You would have stopped it above game. I think you would have just gone, okay, what
are we doing here?
Can we just take a few minutes to work out what the fuck is going on?
Why are we doing
here?
this?
Yeah. I think OP, Lummy, I think, no, I don't think you're the asshole here. I think maybe you're all a bit assholey in this situation.
Yeah.
I'd actually maybe say that Lummy, like the submitter, is probably the least.
Yeah.
But
because a lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people like to let it play out how the characters want it to play out.
But then again, right, if you've got real life friendships on the line, which it sounds like you do, Lummy, like, you should have stopped it and you should have gone above board. Like, I don't care if, oh, it's something that people don't like to do. You should have done it.
Yeah, I think, so, the person wishing for the cave-in is an asshole.
Yeah.
The people killing their characters for wishing for the cave-in.
Yeah.
It's like, you can just be like, what was that about? And then part ways and not kill each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's asshole behavior for killing the other people's character.
Yeah.
And Lummy, I am sorry to say, I think you should have stopped it.
I think you should have stopped it. And, I understand you're saying I was trying to be as fair as I could be.
I know.
Listen, this was never a fair situation.
It was never a fair situation.
Unfortunately, in situations like this, fair and unfair isn't really the end goal here. I think the end goal would have been to preserve your relationships with
all of your friends.
People
and
who, like, geez, it's
like you should have just, basically, when they got out the cave, you should have put a stop to the fighting.
Yeah, especially because you said, this is where I thought the session was going to end.
Ended the session and just have them part ways, and that's it.
I think, it's easy to forget, as the DM, that you do have the power, if you want something to stop, you have the power to stop it.
Yeah.
And you're not being like a god moder. You're not being...
Sometimes that fucking doesn't matter.
You're
Sometimes
not railroading.
That shit's just not, important in the moment.
You're not flexing your power. You're making the right call for that moment. Because listen, if you had ended that campaign, the session there, none of this would have happened. Your friends wouldn't be mad at you. They wouldn't have been fighting.
And there is something to be said about, it's like, if the person hadn't said about the cave-in, then the fight wouldn't have started. If they hadn't reacted so badly and began to fight, then you wouldn't have been put in this situation.
Yeah.
So it's unfair to really call you an asshole.
Yeah,
because,
it is.
You're in a rock and a hard place.
I feel
here.
like you, Lummy, you're the one who's suffering the most here right now.
You've been shafted.
You've kind of been done a little bit here. And
so...
you know what? I think the advice I have on, like, I know that this isn't the point, but you have asked for advice.
Yeah.
I think to rebuild the bridges, I think actually you all owe each other an apology.
Yeah.
I don't think you alone, Lummy, owe an apology to anyone.
No,
I think you should all collectively apologize to one another.
I think all Lummy needs to do is go to the new player, especially the husband, and just be like, look, I should have put a stop to that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that it went that way and your characters were killed and stuff like that.
But listen, you put me in a really difficult position there.
You did ask to have a cave-in.
Yeah.
So you can't really be too mad about them attacking you.
Yeah.
I wish they hadn't, but you did provoke it.
Yeah, you kind of put the first nail in the coffin, unfortunately.
You were the instigator, sadly.
And, I think your other friends, like the people who you play with, like in this campaign regularly at least, I think there should be a conversation with them as well, being like, that got too out of hand. And
killing their characters
was too far.
Whether it's a one shot or not, like, they took time to build those characters.
Yeah. And you know what? I would maybe, for the sake of that regular campaign, I would maybe just retcon that whole thing.
Yeah.
If it was just like a funny, like, one shot thing that you just did, I would maybe just retcon it all. I think people owe you an apology, Lummy.
Yeah,
not
I
just
think
you.
Both parties owe you an apology.
Totally.
Because they're the ones that put you in that situation, and you handled it the best you could.
You were put in that's a really weird position to be put in.
So I don't think you're the asshole.
No.
I think both of the other people are assholes.
I think you should have stopped it, definitely.
But, that comes with experience.
It does.
And Lummy did say, like, I am a new DM.
Well, exactly. You know what? I forgot that. I forgot at the beginning that he does say, I'm learning the ropes.
I retract my everyone's the asshole.
Yeah.
I'm going to say everyone's an asshole apart from Lummy.
I think you just tried to do the best you could given the circumstances.
With your experience.
Granted, you didn't do enough, but that does come down to experience.
It's like there's times that I wish I had done certain things. Even now, even today, you taking a photo of the dog? Even today, like, I still do things. Like, are you going to look at your mummy? Are you going to look at your mummy?
Oh. Sorry.
Like the other week when that whole thing happened with the anger border speech, and I had this big speech, and basically I just had to say, it's like, you've tried too much now. It's her chance. Like, let her say what she needs to say, and I didn't, and then I got upset that I didn't get to say the thing that I'd wrote out because I was really excited to say it. You know, like, I still make mistakes. And it's like, anyone who thinks they're going to go into DMing and not make a mistake.
We're like, human. We're all human.
We're all human. And
100%.
I make mistakes. Matthew Mercer will make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Brendan Lee Munligan will make mistakes. Munligan. Bria Iyengar will make mistakes. It's like, you can't do everything perfectly because the situations that will arise in a role-playing game based on dice, that's going to be random.
Yeah.
You're going to be put in situations that you didn't expect.
And I am certain that this was a learning moment for you, Lummy. Which, you know what? You can look at it positively. It was a learning situation.
Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
And now you understand how to do it next time.
Agreed.
There you go.
I would be really interested to hear what other people's takes on this are.
Yeah, I think...
like,
I think
you with the infection. Yeah,
I think a lot of people are going to have a different take on this, and that's fine.
Yeah, I would like to know what your opinion is. Everyone in the watch party as well. I'd like to know what you think on this.
Because I think a lot of people are
because this is a real tough one.
That's a really tough one.
This is a really tough one, and I'm sorry, Lummy.
Asking for a caven's an asshole move, and then killing their player's character.
Asshole move.
Like if somebody wrongs you or does something that upsets you, like just killing their character in game. Not really the right way to deal with it.
And you know what? Sorry to keep going on about it, but Lummy opens this up saying, everyone knows I'm a new DM. I'm learning as I go. I don't always make the right calls. And then at the end, Lummy reached out to the newcomers. Granted, they're not new, but it's easier to call them that, and said, like, hey, like, I'm sorry. I hope you had a good time. And now you're getting the silent treatment.
Like, the thing is I understand that maybe you might get the silent treatment for that night because there's actually something to be said about
cooling off,
not reacting when you're pissed off.
Yes, definitely.
Because like we do that all the time.
Definitely.
Like there's 100%. So many times where we both like we might be pissed off about something.
Yeah.
And
I have to just take.
And I'll go to you like just wait till the morning.
Yeah.
Then sleep on it and then reply.
Man, the clarity you get in the morning. Yeah. So Lummy, that's a terrible situation.
Sorry.
I'm so
Lummy.
sorry. I hope that helps.
Hope it does.
Hope it does.
Hit him up and just say like, look, you did put me in a tough situation. I'm sorry if I didn't handle
I owe
it
you
perfectly,
an apology,
but
I think.
I'm a new DM and I'm not going to get everything right. So
yeah, indeed.
And if you don't want to accept that, then we are where we are.
Yeah,
we are where we are. You know.
Yeah. So this is number 2. 3.
Can't count with 3.
I can't. I simply can't.
1, 2,
9.
Damn. We were so close.
I used to put the numbers. I should put the numbers in the headers, really, so I know.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you. So this was submitted. This was submitted by M, and he goes by he, him.
Thank you,
Thank you, M.
For your submission.
So I am a bit short. No.
I thought you just said I am a bitch.
I'm a fucking bitch.
I'm a bitch.
I am a bit unsure if I'm overstepping. I joined a campaign and a friend invited me to. His friend is currently running it, and his wife and one other person are playing. Me and the other player joined at level 3, and we just leveled up to level 4 through experience growth. I realized I wasn't having much fun playing the martial class I picked, even after dipping into a secondary class. The GM allowed his wife to remake her new character since she's relatively new, and really she just wanted to be a druid. I feel that.
I mean,
That's fair enough. Like, sometimes you just want to be a druid.
You play something else, and then you realize I could be a druid.
Supremacy.
So, why are we doing this?
Indeed. The GM had mentioned that if we wanted to make any changes, to just let him know. I started thinking I would want to switch to a warlock. Now I would just do a quick narrative death and introduction. The campaign is not character focused, so I wouldn't cause any major shift. I also GM, and I have had players enter and exit with little fuss. My friend that invited me said that I was causing the GM a lot of extra work and said not to ask. He seemed to think that it was such a burden and I should just ride the character out. We're supposed to go up to level 10. I sucked it up and I said, fine, I won't ask. I later mentioned how I was going to suggest that I could run a short campaign after ours to give the GM a break. I understand the forever GM thing. My friend said, don't ask him, it's his thing. He plays another game during the week anyway.
Why is this person speaking for the DM?
Again, I wasn't trying to take over the game. I simply wanted to be nice and give him the opportunity to play with our group as a PC. I'm pretty miffed off now and kind of just want to drop out because I'm starting to feel like I'm an ingrate and overstepping in places that normally I'd see as simple or small offers. Am I the arsehole? And for context, my friend is new to D&D and this is his first character. He required a lot of help in learning his character and what he can do. and I'm knowledgeable enough to just build it and start pretty independently. I don't know how that's relevant, being completely honest with you.
What?
The bit at the end being like, well, my friends knew. My friends knew and he doesn't know anything and I know loads of things.
I think the context of him knowing a lot of stuff is good because it's like, if you were new to D&D and you were like, I want to run a campaign, then yeah, it would be. So it's good to know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. That's personal opinion, to be fair.
Okay.
But no, you're not being an asshole here. I think your friend, I think maybe you're listening to your friend too much.
Yeah, I think you should just, like, it's your life.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, just
do it. And I think you should.
I think your friend should wind the neck in.
Yeah, I think your friend's maybe gaslighting you a little bit here.
Gaslighting you real hard.
Yeah, I think your friend's being a little bit of a dick here.
Like, if they've said, like, if you make a decision on a character and they want to change it, because, making a decision on a character, if you're playing something you've never played before, you don't know if you're going to like it.
Yeah.
And especially if you're going into a new campaign, it's like the age-old question. It's like, do I play a warlock or do I not play a warlock? Because if the game takes loads of short rests, then you're going to have a great time. If they take no short rests, you're going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
It's the same with the monk.
Totally.
So, like, making big decisions like that is tough.
But, your DM has said, and your DM has already let another player switch. That doesn't sound to me like a DM thinks that would be too much fuss.
And they've already done it for somebody else.
Yeah, I think, you need to just bypass your friend.
Yeah, just tell your friend to shut up.
I think your friend's being the asshole here. And then
just do whatever you want to do. It's your life.
Yeah, and then your friend being like, it's his thing. Don't ask.
Like, I can't I'm telling you right now, your DM would love to hear after a long campaign.
Oh my God.
I just spat on my pop nails.
That's all right.
That's what it's there for, baby. Your DM would love to hear after a long campaign, oh yeah, I'll run a couple of things so you can have a break. Like, trust me, I hear it. Like, Matthew does it and Margaret's on about doing it. Oh, here he is.
I don't know if you can see him.
Oh, well, they can see me. They can see him.
Oh, hi, honey. Oh, yes. Are you all right?
Hello.
What's going on?
It's lovely to see you.
What's going on?
Can everyone see you?
Oh,
you got a very waggy bum.
Yeah, one more little pic.
Oh, hello.
Very nice.
Yeah, I know.
Stand there for the rest of it then. Yeah. Okay, fair
enough. That's the mixer though.
Oh my God.
Don't come on the till.
Okay. But
So yeah, like Matthew does it. Margaret's on about doing some stuff after this one with me as her co-DM, which I'm very excited for. I think that's going to be super cool. Abby's sort of something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can be the main DM if we want to run like really long-term campaigns and things like that. But I want to play too.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's stupid for that person to say.
I think your DM will absolutely appreciate more than anything being offered to play. I think you just need to bypass. You're not being an asshole here. Your friend is being an asshole.
That's very considerate of you to be like, give the DM a break.
The only thing I will say is, I am getting kind of vibes of you being like, I'm also DM. I've had players exit and enter with little fuss. Just because you didn't struggle with that doesn't mean that other people won't.
I mean, yeah, I would say that if the DM wasn't literally like, I'm totally fine with you exiting characters and entering characters whenever you want.
Yeah. That's the only thing. I'm getting a slight undertone. Maybe I'm picking up on that too much.
Yeah, maybe you are. I think because you said the thing at the end as well.
What's that?
About like.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the context of like your friend being new.
Big yawn.
Like, maybe
Big
isn't
yawn.
that relevant? But I could be completely wrong here. Your friend doesn't sound like they're being
No, they sound like they're being a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Your friend's in this situation. Your friend is the asshole.
And you know what? It gets into like really odd territory when if you're like talking to your friend and your friend's like trying to talk for like your DM. I wonder if anyone could hear that.
No.
You're not talking behind your DM's back.
No.
But you know what? I kind of get the feeling that your friend is kind of getting into the realms of talking behind your DM's back here. Do you know what I mean? I think and he's gone. Oh, that was lovely.
That
I
was nice.
hope you could see him.
You finally saw him on the podcast.
You saw him. Oh, I hope you did.
He's restless now, though, so be prepared for the crying.
Unrestful.
The dog is unrestful. But yeah, sorry, you carry
on. I can't quite remember what I was saying, but
your DM sounds like they might be saying things behind the back.
You are not an asshole
not
at
DM,
all.
Your friend. I said that right?
Yeah. No, you're not an asshole.
You're not an asshole.
You are just trying to be with a one shot thing. You're just trying to do your DM a favor.
Yeah, like give him a break, let him have some fun.
Yeah.
Take the and it's true. Like there is people around your table that are probably DMs who, if you are the like long-term DM, they might get the itch to DM. So allowing them to have that.
Yeah.
Like I know Matthew used to be our long-term DM, and now I am, and I know that Matthew has ideas that he wants to get out, and it's like I'm more than happy for Matthew to do that.
Yeah.
Because I understand getting that DM itch.
Totally.
You know,
Totally.
I understand that. So, like, if I don't DM for a while, I'm like, man, I got all these ideas and I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, totally.
Like, doing that is also fair on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it's so unfair that like, as you said yourself, I just sucked it up and I said, fine, I won't ask. That's so unfair on you.
Let's stop sucking it up. Let's let it out.
Let it out. Go on.
Undo the buckle on your belt and just let it go.
Oh, God. Yeah. Take your bra off.
Take your bra off.
Yeah.
Just let it go, baby.
Let it all out.
Let it all out.
Yeah. Go straight to your DMM. I'm sorry that you're in this position.
Cheers for the submission, though.
Thank you very much.
The time is not anymore.
Oh.
It's a disaster. It's all falling apart. The dog will look really cute and sweet. And real cute. Ah!
You probably couldn't hear anything I was saying. Oh, no, it's still going.
The sound
We're good.
of silence.
Okay. So, on to the next one. This is one... I think I took this from the Reddit.
Oh, the Reddit?
From the Reddit, and this is number 04.
Check
yes,
her out.
I can count.
Everybody?
Contrary to popular belief. So, am I the arsehole for allowing my players to kill parents of my absent player in a one-shot?
Yes. Next.
Yeah, done. I DM this campaign. I've DM'd this campaign for a year. We have 26 played sessions, and they are level 8 party of 6. One player, the rogue, heavily invested in her character, and I kid you not, she sent me a family tree explaining her relationships with NPCs from her backstory.
God, I hope it's not her family you killed, because that would be real bad.
So I really spent time digging through her very elaborate backstory and made some plot hooks regarding it. Standard practice. While we were adjusting our schedule to meet next time, 7 people, hell of a task, I can only imagine.
God.
She says that she can't attend and pleads to play a one-shot instead because she doesn't want to miss out essential parts of her character story. The players agree. I also agree. So just to clarify, she can't make it.
She can't make it, yeah.
And she's like, can you just do a one-shot instead? She wrote in an abusive father, let's call him Duncan, and he hates his daughter and his wife for the fact that she gave birth to a tiefling and a player character for being a tiefling. He is a drunkard and heavily in debt from a syndicate operating in a city. The plot hook for the character was to try to help this mess of her parent find those who robbed their house, spoiler, it would be one of the one-shot characters, and clear a debt.
Nice.
Time for the one-shot players. They do not know with who they are dealing with because the absent player is being edgy and a brooding rogue, and she didn't go into detail about her past and didn't give any names.
Oh, man, I'm flipping backwards and forwards there. I'm like, well, it was the DM. Oh, now it's the players. Now it's the DM again.
They rolled pre-made characters, morally grey at best, evil at most, and the mission from their handler was to find gold in the house. And Duncan was spotted spending an unusual large sum of gold in a tavern, and he is in debt. And after this, that they should carry out an assassin mission in the top district. They go to the house, they lockpick the shoddy lock and enter. Stealth checks, all good. They quietly trashed the place and found a bag with gold under the floorboards. So one of the characters, for some reason, decided that there must be something of value on the second floor where the bedroom is. They go there, they knock the vase onto the counter, and they woke up the mother. She went to check it. The players decided that the best course of action is to kill her and then the father to make it look like a cult did it. The next session of the main campaign, they finally made it to the city, and the rogue decided to pay a visit to her parents, and they see a lot of guards in the slums, which is unusual, and they see a bloodbath in her house. Only then the players who played the one shot connected the dots, and they had really terrified looks on their faces. After the game, the rogue angrily explains to me that the campaign was a blast until you killed off my family, and says I'm at fault and I shouldn't make quests involving her parents. Am I the arsehole?
Yes.
And the too long didn't read is, player in one shot unknowingly murdered parents of a character from the main campaign, and the player of said character is pissed off because I used her backstory in the plot of a one shot.
Of course you're the asshole. How are you not the asshole?
How
are you writing the submission thinking you're not the asshole?
She said, please, I can't make it. Please do a one shot because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to miss anything, so what I'll do is I'll just kill the whole point of your character's backstory.
I'll just kill both of her parents.
It's not, the thing is, it's not on the players because the players don't know.
The players didn't know. And it's like
you're the only one there that knows,
yeah.
and you let it happen.
And yeah,
you're the asshole.
If you're the only person with that knowledge, what made you think this was a good idea?
What made you think that you would write this and get the answer you want?
And like, you know what? I understand that this actually probably wasn't the main point of it, right? But
just make it someone else in the town.
And no offense, this is so horribly written out as well. I was struggling to follow it, but like, even if, right, the main point wasn't to get involved with these characters at all, why even mention them?
Yeah.
Why even have the dad at the tavern being like,
that wasn't the point.
He's spending a large amount of gold. You know what I mean?
And it's like, you might have, like, do you want to know, in the first instance, it might have been that person, and then this might have happened, and do you want to know what? Magically, it was a different family who was in debt. Like, you've got the power to make that happen.
Because you're the only one
You're the
who
only
knows.
one who knows there.
And
how are you so fucking blind and oblivious to the fact that you have been such an asshole
Such an asshole. Yes, you're
How
the
can you
asshole.
write this? How can you write this knowing that what's happened
and
not know you're the asshole?
And it's like the kind of like the passive aggressive. Well, they don't know who they're dealing with because she's edgy and brooding and she doesn't talk about her past or give any names.
They're literally going to the town next. So the whole point, she was like secretive and brooding. Yes, some people like to be like that with the backstory. That's fine. But they're going to the place where the backstory is going to get uncovered, and she's brooded about it and secretive about it this entire time. And the moment she's going to allow it to play out because they're there with her parents,
she's going to be like, my parents.
You took that from her.
Oh my God.
You idiot.
Oh my God. And she begged you. You even said she begged. She said, please don't play. She doesn't want to miss essential parts of her character story.
Because that was the moment she was going to get the payoff. that was the moment. And then you took that payoff away from her because you killed her family.
Like,
you idiot.
And you know what? At the end, they say, oh, they had really terrified looks on their faces.
I'm not surprised.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
Like, I wonder if the players, had they known...
no way.
Like,
if they've got terrified looks on their faces.
Yeah, they're like shocked at it. Like, I bet all of your players are pissed off with you now. Not just your rogue.
Yeah, you want to blame the rogue because they're secretive and brooding.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, if that's the way you want to be, as long as it comes out at some point during the campaign, like, that's fine. You can be secretive.
Do you believe that this is like karma? Like, what is this?
It's like, it's your fault. You didn't tell anyone. It's like, no, it's your fault.
And
you are literally the only person to blame here.
And, you know, she pleads for you to play a one shot, and you agree, and then you do this.
Then you kill the parents in one shot.
What is this about?
It's the meme of you shoot someone and you turn to the camera and be like,
who could have done this to the rogue?
It's like it's you. It's you. You are the problem.
Once again, you're the only person who knew this information.
The new Taylor Swift song, which is like, it's me.
Yeah, don't.
I'm not gonna.
Oh my God, don't.
That's you. You're the problem. It's
you. Yeah, man, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
The mirror's there. You can see it. The mirror. You're looking at a mirror while you're typing this out, being like, oh man, somebody else is the Azakek because it can't be me.
How can you type the word "she pleaded with me" and then to be like, now she's pissed off at me? Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Ugh, yes.
God, move on.
Oh,
from these
annoying.
Good Lord.
Yes.
How stupid can you be?
Oh, your poor rogue. I'm so sorry. You know what? The fact that she was like, your campaign was a blast. You've ruined that for her.
You ruined that.
You've ruined
your
whole game for her.
You're an idiot.
Idiot. Unrestful, rancid vibes.
Oh, yeah. The most rancid of vibes.
Rancid.
The most unrestful
rancid vibes.
It makes it even more unrestful that you are so oblivious to it because it's so obvious.
Unrestful. Oh, okay. On to the next one. I don't know what number this is. Number 5. You don't even get the funny joke.
Because we're too annoyed.
So, this has been submitted by Anonymous, and she goes by she, her. Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous, for your submission.
Am I the arsehole for running a game with one-sided scheduling? Recently, my partner and their best friend decided they wanted to start a D&D game with some of their other friends. Since I've DM'd for 3 years, I agreed to run the game, while my partner agreed to host because they're the only one with enough space in their home for the entire group. My partner and I compared schedules and concluded we could only run a game once about every 3 to 4 weeks and only on Sundays from between 12 noon to 6 p.m.
It's a long game, though.
Yeah, that's a good block. And
game.
hey, Sundays are I think
a lot of people like
D&D Sunday.
I think
Lazy Day Sunday.
I quite to like.
Oh my god! Oh my!
I quite like to run.
He's killed. He's dead.
D&D in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just has like
exciting.
Ooh.
We're being nerds in the daytime.
It's normally nighttime when we're nerding out.
So a group chat was made. I laid out campaign expectations, including our scheduling availability, and no one objected. My partner's friend arrived 3 hours late to the first session.
Oh, that's good.
1.5 hours late to the second, and didn't come at all to the third.
Nice. Great. Good job.
That night, she messaged my partner asking if the game could take place later than noon because she struggles to function that early in the day. This friend has basically switched her nights and days because she functions better at night. My partner explained that it couldn't because they want time to get dinner, to decompress after hosting, and to prepare for the week, so they don't want people in their house after 6 p.m. Their friend got very upset about this. She said that the game felt rushed and it was depressing that everyone had to leave as soon as the game was finished. My partner's house is the only place they can all hang out in person, and she didn't understand why everyone couldn't stay later in the evening. And most importantly, she said it wasn't fair that my partner and I decided when the game would be played without asking everyone else. I do see where she's coming from, because it's true. We didn't compare everyone else's schedule, but I did make our availability clear in the chat before session 1.
And it's your partner's house.
I suggested that she and her friends could play in a game without my partner and I at the time that works better for her. But if they want me to run it at my partner's house, that is the only time possible. So we can't budge. Am I being an asshole?
No.
Like,
is your partner's house, like, you know, we run a game in our house.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, show respect to the people that are offering you their space to play in. It's like, you know.
Listen, oh my God, there is so much prep to having people in your house.
Of course there is.
Especially having that many people in your house.
Yeah. We don't like, you know, like the house isn't tidy all the time.
No.
It's
no.
It's impossible to keep the house tidy all day, every day, because we're busy people.
Yeah.
But, you know, we like to keep a generally quite a tidy house, and especially when people come round.
Especially when people come round.
You know, we like all the washing up is done. It's hoovered. We mop sometimes.
We dust.
Like, we want to make sure they use the bathroom so the bathroom is clean.
Yeah, it's things like taking the dog out, making sure that the dog's been taken out. And
before that time when they come over.
It's making sure that we have like food and drinks, and maybe not necessarily food, but definitely having drinks in the house, having everything stocked.
Our group is great. They love to like buy snacks.
They bring snacks.
Like, it's not like you buy snacks this week. It's
people
just buy snacks.
People just bring whatever they want.
You know, everyone likes to have Vimto.
Yeah,
so we always make sure Vimto is.
There's a lot of prep to having people round, and you know, granted, I know that not everyone will prioritize the house being tidy and clean and stuff.
Like, you don't need to do those things.
You do not need to do that.
They're just things that we like to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of prep that goes into it, and hey, there's a lot of prep that goes after everyone has left. Granted, our friends tidy up after themselves, but there's still mess.
There's still mess.
There's still like rubbish, and there's still
some
like
D&D books out and stuff.
There's
like
stuff out. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is with our group is like Abby has to get the train, and sometimes, you know, I try and plan enough so we get to about that time. Sometimes we run a little bit over, so they have to like rush out, so then they don't get to tidy, so then we have to tidy.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's not us begrudging them. They're very good at tidying up after themselves.
They're great. So, you know, like, if you're going into someone's house, it's like, I just can't understand how you be. It's like, fine, fucking play at your house then.
Well, you know what? So I do in a way. To be honest, even OP says, I understand. And I do.
I don't. John, I don't.
I understand the whole, well, it's so depressing that we can't just hang around after and chat. And to that, I say exactly what OP has said. Why don't you just get together a different time without them? You don't even have to play D&D.
Yeah.
If it's a case of, if the vibe I'm getting here is she's upset because it feels really rushed and it feels like you can't hang around after. Maybe this person doesn't even necessarily care about D&D. They care about being with their friends.
Like, and the thing is, it's like, if that's the case, why don't you just say, like, can we finish at 5:30 so then we can have half an hour of just chilling out, or finish at 5 so we get 5 hours of D&D and 1 hour hanging out.
Yeah, like, and
I get that, because at the beginning of D&D and at the end, like, we do just sit and we just chat and catch up and like, how's everyone's week been, and just have a little silly goofy time.
Totally. And I also think, you know, yes, people do work on different schedules. Some people are nocturnal. Like, some people, through no fault of their own.
Nothing wrong with that.
Some people have conditions where, they sleep through the day, they're awake during the night. That's not ever something I think you should
society
question.
has just programmed you to think that when the sun is out, that means you have to be awake. It's like, you do whatever you want. You wake up whenever you want. If it makes you feel good to be awake during the night, then do that. No one gives a fuck.
And you know what? I do feel bad for the player that, you know, that is how she functions, and that the only time they can do this is in a time that doesn't work for her. But
being said that, though, I think it is so rude
agreed.
for someone to offer up their house.
Agreed.
To be like,
and to DM.
Come round mine on a Sunday for
6 hours.
Sunday, God's day, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck God.
Amen.
Anyway, on a Sunday.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
For 6 hours and be like, come round. That's a long time to have people in your house.
Hey, especially it sounds like they have very busy schedules as well, right?
To me, to whinge about that is so rude.
I know. The whinging, you know what? So I do understand. I understand where this player is coming from. However, handle yourself with a bit of grace and decorum here.
I think you're being a bit unfair.
You are. And you know what? To be like, I don't understand why we can't stay. They've told you why.
They're fucking busy.
They've told you why, and you're being very selfish.
I don't understand what they've told you.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone can't stay later in the evening. They have told you. Maybe you don't want to see past that because you're feeling bad for yourself, and I'm sorry you feel that way. But they've told you.
They've told you. You understand why, because they've told you.
You have to respect people's schedules. I fucking hate it when people do not respect other people's schedules.
You are not offering up your own house. So to me, why are you commenting on somebody else who's offered up their space for you?
See, I don't think there's anything wrong with commenting on it. Genuinely, I don't think.
Do you not?
I don't think there's.
I don't think it's fair for you to whinge that. Oh, well, why can't we stay later than this?
I think that's unfair.
I
think that's unfair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think, you know, having, no matter what, right? This person's upset, and they're going to have their feelings about it, and their feelings aren't invalid. And I think it's, you know, yes, there's something to be said about making your feelings known. However, there is a way to do it, and then to be like, I just don't understand. It's like, you do understand.
You know why?
Like, if you're upset, just say you're upset. Don't then be like, well, everyone's rushed, and it's depressing that we can't stay, and I don't understand why we can't stay.
Someone's offering up you their house to play D&D in when they get the chance, and you're saying it's depressing.
Yeah,
and just, do you know what? Like,
there's a healthy way to explain how you're feeling without being inflammatory like this, and then also being like, it's not fair that you just decided for all of us. It's like,
they didn't decide. They just said, this is the time nobody else has a place to play.
And everyone agreed.
The place to play is only at this person's house.
Because no one else has another place to play.
So this person says that we can do it at this time on these days. Is that okay? And for everyone to say yes, and then for you to be like, well, I just don't understand. It's like,
and you know what?
Why aren't you getting?
OP says, yeah, fair enough. We didn't compare schedules. However, we made our availability clear. And it's like, that's all that matters.
When it comes
if you're the DM and you're the host, that's all that matters.
It's like, it's not even all that matters. It's like, if there's nowhere else to play.
Yeah, what options do you have?
And there's one person that says, you can play at my house. If everyone says, yeah, we want to do it at a house, not at a public space. I don't know if that conversation was had.
No, yeah.
Even if they say, well, it's on this day at this time. It's like, but there's no other choice. So
OP, I would really like to know what the end of the conversation was where you said, like, why don't you play a game without us then and play it somewhere else? I would really like to know how that conversation went, because I think that's very fair. I also think, you know, if it's a case of she doesn't mind about it being D&D, she just wants to spend time with her friends, maybe set something alternative up like that as well.
But that's not for you to set up. That's for them to set up.
That's not for you to do.
I
agree. But, you know, if you're a problem solver like we are, You probably do want to sort something out for your friend. I would please, if you're listening, OP, oh my God, please give us a follow-up on how that conversation went.
This shit pisses me
I
off.
know, but you're not the arsehole. Obviously.
Oh my God, no.
Obviously, you are not the arsehole.
And it's like,
And I see where your partner's friend is coming from. I do. But there is 100% better ways to communicate that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And problem solve for yourself.
You can say, oh, well, you didn't fucking tell us about the schedule. And you can say, oh, I want to hang out. Why do we all have to play D&D the whole time? I want to just talk with my friends. It's depressing that we get like that. You can say that, but when the only place to play and the only time to play, then, in my opinion, shut up.
Yeah, and
it's so unfair to say that.
And it's also
so rude to say that.
It's also very unfair for you to say, well, the reasons we don't want people in the house after 6 p.m. is because we have a busy work week. We want to decompress. We want to have dinner. And then it's so unfair for someone to be like, well, I just don't understand.
I just don't understand. It's like, what don't you understand? I've literally laid it out clear as day.
It's like you just don't want to.
You don't.
Understand.
That's all that
you
is.
just want to be upset in the moment.
And the thing is, it's like, look, you can be upset.
Yeah, it's unfortunate circumstances.
Handle yourself.
Yeah.
And understand that, you aren't the only person on this fucking world. Other people have shit going on.
And you know what? I sympathize for the whole, only being awake in the night. I do sympathize with that. I really do.
We've been through phases like that.
Yeah, and we know people as well who suffer with that.
Yeah, 100%. I know people who literally are like, being awake in the day depresses me.
Really,
I like to be awake at nighttime.
But no, OP, you're not the asset. God, you know what? I wonder if we're biased because we got our backs up about that so much.
I still have my back up.
I would like to know.
I still have my back up.
What do you infected one? No, the one behind you.
My back is well and truly up.
What about you? What do you think?
If you are the only one who can offer a space to play D&D in, and then people whinge about the fact that you've done it, and it's like, when it's your place and your time schedule, then you can do this. But if somebody's offering their space for you, their house for you, their home for you to play in,
I know,
and you're disrespecting them that hard,
it is very disrespectful.
Winds me up.
Agreed. What do you think? I would like to know. Everyone in the watch party, tell me what you think. Everyone in the comments below, tell me what you think. I think that is both unrestful and rancid vibes. What's the saying for rancid vibes?
What's the hands?
I don't know. Rancid vibes.
Ooh. Rancid vibes?
Rancid vibes.
Do we like that?
What do you think?
Rancid vibes.
Rancid vibes.
Unrestful. Rancid vibes.
Rancid vibes. Yeah.
That annoys me.
I know. It annoyed me too. It annoyed me too. All right, God.
Take a breather, baby.
You know what he says every time. Go on, Jack.
I haven't got any water, but hydrate to wash that hate away, baby. Do the best you can. Go get a refill.
I'm so hungry.
Oh.
I say this every time, man. Everyone's like, Margaret, are you always hungry? Yes.
Yeah, all the time.
I could always eat.
Every second of the day, Margaret could have something to eat.
I could have a little snacky snack.
Margaret doesn't like to eat a lot.
No,
she just likes to little and often.
Often.
Just snacks. And then she'll snack just before we eat. And then she won't eat all of her tea, and then she'll get hungry again.
You know.
Yeah, yesterday, didn't you? No, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before.
Just a little snacky snack.
A little sneak.
Yeah,
snack.
Rancid vibes.
Rancid vibes.
Okay, this has been submitted by Anonymous, and they didn't leave any pronouns, so just say that.
Thank you, Anonoblaster. Jed.
No!
Hit him with a Jed.
Hit him with a Jed. Am I the arsehole for correcting my DM on how spells work? Some background. We've been playing in this game... Any louder, Jack? We've been playing in this game for a couple of years. I have a lot of knowledge of spells because I enjoy playing casters, and I'm currently playing as an arcane trickster. I have the mirror image spell, but so does the other people in the party. So does the other players in the party. Mirror image, we treated it wrong for a long time before we looked it over and realized that instead of what we were doing, which is, if we hit, you roll a d20. If you get hit, you roll a d20, and then you apply the mirror image numbers to see if you get hit. It was instead, if you get targeted, roll a d20. If it targets an illusion, they still have to roll to beat its armor class,
correct,
which is 10 plus your dex mod. The DM double-checked it, and we agreed that this was how it's supposed to work, and we've been doing it as such since.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I explained that terribly. They were doing it basically where you were using your own armor class, essentially, how it actually works is I'll put the spell up on the screen.
I'll
put the spell up on the screen so you can see it.
Professional podcast.
But yes, basically, it has to roll to meet the Illusions armor class, which is 10 plus the Dex mod.
Yeah.
So it's not the only spell I've confirmed with the DM, as we thought some spells use different saves and stuff like that. Here's where I feel like I may be the asshole. Our Hexblade also uses this spell, and they reached out to me recently to explain that I was an asshole for correcting the DM because now the spell is worse for them because they haven't put as much into Dex as I have. And for reference, I have a 20, which is a +5. So my mirror's image AC is 15, and they only have a 14 in Dex, which is a +2. So their AC is only 14.
12.
12. It would be 12. They've written 14, but it would be 12. I don't think I'm an asshole because we were using the spell wrong, but they are still really insistent. And we missed sessions this week because they didn't show or warn anyone about it.
That's just pathetic.
So am I the asshole for correcting my DM on a spell?
Do you know what? I retract my big huffy breath at the beginning because no, I don't think you are.
No. Your friend for no showing is a bigger asshole.
No showing because the spell doesn't work how you want it to.
That's pathetic.
Come on, if you're that bothered, just ask the DM if you can change the spell now that it doesn't work the same.
I know. And you know what? When you read, am I the asshole for correcting my DM? You immediately, yeah, you do.
I don't know if you corrected the DM. If you all use it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like if it depends how you did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you turn up to the session and be like, by the way, we've been using mirror image wrong?
Yes.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Like, as if everyone uses it.
A perfect example of this is Josh's Sorcerer Mallet. No, not Malleus Igneous.
Josh's Sorcerer
was
Igneous.
using his Careful spell wrong.
Yeah.
And he was basically using... We all collectively thought, by the way, that if he Careful spelled like a fireball, no one would get hit.
You just get advantage on the save.
Turns out you just get advantage on the save, so you still get hurt no matter what.
So, I found out, and I just said to Josh, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't in a...
Careful spell isn't how we've been using it.
Yeah.
Now Careful spell is exactly like that because I gave him
something.
I gave him something that makes it work like that because but we changed it from that point.
Yeah.
It does feel bad. I get it.
I get it.
Thinking
totally.
a spell works a certain way and then it not working that way is upsetting.
Totally.
And especially if you're not a prepared spellcaster who is stuck with that spell now, I get it. It feels bad.
I get it.
But just talk to your dungeon master.
Just have a conversation with him. Like,
if it's a communal spell that like everyone's using, you can literally be like, I'm really sorry. Do you mind if I know I can't, but do you mind if I change my spell because it doesn't work
because it doesn't
how we all thought it did.
Exactly.
Like I would be more than happy for it.
And granted, some DMs wouldn't be. Granted, some DMs wouldn't be.
Maybe you should just fucking loosen up those screws a little bit.
Yeah, no, completely agreed.
That's my personal.
Yeah, no.
Opinion. But
agreed.
Like, do you know, mirror image is fucking sick.
Yeah, mirror image absolutely.
I used it on Jasper.
Yeah, you did.
It's such a good spell.
Yeah. But no, you are not the asshole.
And no showing because the spell doesn't work how you want it to anymore.
God, just no showing. Rude.
Is that the reason?
Who knows? That's purely speculation.
Slagging off this person.
Well, to go to that person and be like, you're an asshole.
You're an asshole because it doesn't
rude.
Work. Look, mate, you all fucked up. It's not this person's fault.
Yeah, rude.
Like the spell needs to work how the spell needs to work because that's how it's balanced. It's already a very strong spell,
and it's no one's fault that you were all doing it wrong.
Also,
you know what I mean?
Concentration.
That's wild.
I get it because the whole point is like if you get hit, it already sucks because you cast the spell to not get hit.
Yeah.
But I think it's such a great spell anyway. So making it even more fucking powerful is not good.
Yeah. And again, no one's fault that you weren't doing it all wrong. And yeah, you should be going as it is. And you know what? Again, I feel like this would be different, right? If you didn't have it OP prepared as well. If you were just like coming through your friend's spells and being like, "Oh, you're doing this wrong," that's a different conversation entirely. But you all had it.
Yeah.
You were all doing it wrong.
You were all doing it wrong.
So all you have to do it right.
Because the thing is, for that person, their AC, it's like if they were using their AC. It would have been like their armor. If they were like a Bladesinger or something, their AC would have been wildly high.
Yeah.
And if all of their mirror images had the same AC, all of their ACs would have been wildly high.
Well, that's it. And you know what? Like the Hexblade, we have obviously no idea what it is, but the Hexblade is saying it's worse for me now.
Right. Well,
which 12 AC, yeah, it would be.
That's not this person's fucking problem.
It isn't. So no, you are not the asshole.
No, you're not.
You are not the asshole.
Your Hexblade's the asshole.
Your Hexblade is absolutely.
It's all
the
you
asshole.
Hexblades.
Oh,
you're all that. No,
that's not true at all.
Some of you are nice. Only some.
Yeah. But no, you're
Rancid vibe.
Rancid vibes. You're not the asshole.
No, you're not.
You're not the asshole.
No.
Your friend is the asshole.
I've said it.
And again,
I agree.
Don't just not show up. Don't just not show up.
Don't not show up.
Do not
respect everyone else's time.
100%.
For the love of God.
Yep.
Respect everyone else. Everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Everyone's got shit to do.
Everyone's an adult who has finite time.
Finite.
Especially your poor DM. Come on.
DM who's probably planned something for you to take part in that week and you just don't show up.
Rude.
Disrespectful.
Unrestful. God, we are on one.
Because people are annoying.
I don't even know what number this is, Jack. I don't know how many we have left.
Number 7.
Oh no, this is the third to last.
The third to last.
Third to last. Is it?
The penultimate of the
penultimate.
penultimate.
The penultimate of the penultimate, yes. So this has been submitted by Spackle Unicorn on TikTok. They also go by Riles and he goes by he, him. So
here's Riles,
thanks,
Spackle Unicorn.
Riles. So I've been playing with this group for almost a year, and I feel like the DM likes picking on myself and our ranger. We tend to push the boundaries, so I understand most of the time why. However, this time felt different. The DM blatantly told me I couldn't use my class ability without any reason. What happened in the group was we were trying to steal an oath bow from an NPC. As a soul knife rogue, the party wanted me to take point. The party casted invisibility and guidance to make the situation easier. But everything went very wrong very quickly. I tried to leave the situation.
That's D&D, baby.
And I got slapped around. I finally broke free with low HP and was able to get behind the party. The Oathbow NPC takes a shot at me and it connects. It connects enough damage to take me down. This is when I ask him if I can have it with Uncanny Dodge because I can see the enemy. The DM says no because it's magical. I blurt out, that doesn't make any sense. And then I restate what Uncanny Dodge does. And Uncanny Dodge, if you don't know, is a rogue ability, and it says when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to halve the attack's damage against you.
Yeah.
He says I can just do half of the bow damage, but not the magical damage after some debating. I just accepted the fact that I went down and I didn't end up with a bow. But if I could have halved the damage, I could have finished the fight with the party, and I would have had the chance to get the oath bow. So my question is, am I the arsehole for being upset and arguing my case?
Absolutely not.
Like
things in the game state if they do not have magical damage.
Yeah, and this is very, very clear that it just says when an enemy you see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack's
damage. That's like
damage.
Getting hit with a disintegrate spell or getting hit with some
like a fireball.
No, not a fireball.
Oh, because that's an AoE attack.
It needs to be an attack. Yeah,
okay. That's
what evasion's for.
Oh,
if it's a dexterity. If it's a scorching ray, pew pew pew, 3 bolts. Because they've hit you with an attack that you can see, doesn't say if it's magical. Yeah. You can half the damage.
Because, this is like, for example, like the Barbarian's Rage, right? It only halves like slashing, piercing, bludgeoning.
But it doesn't say excludes magical damage. So if somebody hits your barbarian with a magical slashing weapon, it still halves the damage.
Yes.
So things in the game state if it excludes magical damage. And these things don't exclude magical damage. Barbarian's Rage, again, if somebody hits you with a magic greatsword, it's not like, oh no, you still take
it's still slash. Yeah, no, sorry,
it's still slashing damage.
But if someone hit me with like a fucking firebolt, I would not be able to have the fire damage. Yeah.
Like, things state in the game
exactly
if they
what
negate
it is,
or don't negate magical damage.
You know what?
So this DM's just made it work for them in the moment if they wanted to, which is annoying.
There's 2 ways this is, right? The DM either just fully doesn't understand, or the DM just wants to rule their own rule.
They just want to rule their own rule in that moment to make it work for them.
I think regardless it's unfair because you still said the actual ability, right? Do you know what I mean? You actually read it. Rules is written.
Rules is
written. Rules is written.
No, you're not the asshole.
No.
Your DM is an asshole.
Yeah.
They just needed it. They didn't want you to steal the boar.
Yeah,
they just should have just said they should have just made it impossible to get in the house or something like that. If they really were that bothered. Yeah. But to let you in, to let you get the boar, to let you get away, and then just take you down unfairly.
Yeah.
It's just quite pathetic.
You know what? I think there's also, Ralph says, like, am I the asshole for arguing my case? And it's like, listen, I understand that there is a lot of discourse about like players arguing with DMs, and I think there is a point where you do just have to shut the fuck up and just deal with it, regardless of if the DM is wrong or not, right? Like there is a point where if you're taking up too much time and you're arguing and neither of you are going to fold, yes, you have to just stop.
But that's like saying there's a rogue and I throw a fireball at them. It's like Matthew. It's like I throw a fireball at Matthew. I'm like, oh, make me a wisdom saving throw. Matthew's like, no, it's dex saving throw. And I'm like, well, no, it's wisdom saving throw right now. It's like, because I'm targeting only the rogue.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, as a human being sat around a table, or you know, whatever.
But that's like, I have to concede because you're an asshole.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm not saying that that's right. But there is a point where you have to stop. It has to stop, right?
I mean, yeah, it has to stop. But it should be the DM because the DM is the one who's wrong.
Well, no, agreed. I'm not discounting that. But
I get that, you know, like, everyone else wants to play D&D. So you should probably just concede to, like, so everyone can still have fun. But, you know, don't be an asshole in the first place, really.
Yeah, no, but if someone's going to be an asshole, like, they're going to be an asshole.
Just don't play with them.
Yeah, well, yeah, literally just don't fucking play with them. And I think...
That's fucking rubbish.
I think your DM definitely was...
They knew.
They definitely didn't want you to have it. I can't speak to whether they were targeting you or not. But, you know, I think they definitely didn't want you to have the bow.
Yeah.
Definitely not. So, no. You're not the ass. Oh, rancid vibes.
Rancid vibes.
Unrestful.
Oh, horrendously unrestful.
And rancid vibes.
Like, that is such bullshit.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree. You know what, Rouse? I would like to know what the conclusion to this was. Like, after you kind of just gave in and you were like, all right, yeah, fine, I don't get the bow. Like, did you have a conversation with the DM afterwards?
I hope so.
Like,
I know the conversation was, why did you know that's not how it works? Why did you do it?
Are you still playing in this game?
Yeah.
Like, has it happened again since? I would like to know. That's
why I give that.
Yeah, you show them. So this is the penultimate. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
We're on second to last, baby.
2 hours and 20 minutes in.
I feel like we've kind of blasted through these, though, to be fair.
I think a lot of them were quite easy.
You know what? Yeah, I agree, actually.
There was one that was really hard, and that was the cave-in one.
Yeah,
that was
agreed.
really, and a lot of these have been cut and dry.
Agreed.
Which are, you know.
Okay, so penultimate. Don't know what number this is. 11?
9.
9.
No, 8.
8.
8. It's 8.
8.
Number
Did I only
8.
prepare 9 here?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
2 hours and 20 minutes long so far.
Yeah. So this
not
is
long enough.
Not there will honestly
rancid time.
Rancid times. The other day I was editing last Monday's episode and it was 4 hours and 15 minutes. And I posted it in the Discord being like, "Lol, that's so funny. It's not going to be this long, by the way." And everyone was like,
"Why not?
Why not?
Why is
it not going to be 4 hours
Tell
long?
me why.
Y'all are insane." I'm glad you want that long videos.
Yeah,
makes us feel good.
We can't do 2 4 hours a week.
4 hours.
We wake up, record, and go to bed.
So this has been submitted by Goose, and they go by they them.
Silly Goose.
Silly Goose. Thanks, Goose. So, am I the arsehole for being upset that we didn't finish our campaign? So, I'm relatively new to the TTRPG scene, but started with a fantastic group of people who played pretty regularly, usually once a week for 4 hours.
That's awesome.
We had a lovely time working through one of the Sorry, Goose. It turns out I'm the silly goose.
You are a bit of a silly goose. Tell you who's a silly goose.
Go on.
Bull.
The dog. Yeah.
He's a silly goose.
The dog.
The dog.
We had a lovely time working through one of the D&D modules, and after about 6 months or so, we were able to finish
Why are you reading like this? The D&D
modules.
See, the thing is, I say that, but that's how I'd read it if I was just trying to read it. Everyone's always like, "No, chat, you're so good." I'm not. Look,
we all have our strengths.
We all have our strengths and our
baby.
weeknesses.
Yeah.
And reading out loud just isn't my strength, and I'm okay with it.
You're so good at so many other things. You excel in so many other things. Reading out loud,
not one of them.
You know,
just not one of them. And do you want to know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you do all of this. You do all of this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do all of this.
You do all of this.
I do all of this.
And I just do this one thing. So.
You do very well, though. Thanks. You make it very entertaining.
Thanks, Jack.
I think we should all...
No,
let's show Margaret a little appreciation.
No, please. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Say thank you, Margaret.
No, don't say it.
Thank you, Margaret, for making it so entertaining.
No, oh my God.
Because if other people were reading now, they wouldn't make it as entertaining as you.
We don't know that for a fact.
I do.
Thanks, Jack. Thank you. Hey, You're great at taking all the notes.
You're good at being you.
You know, you set all the podcasts up, you set all the lights up, you set the mics up. I couldn't do that.
You could, probably.
I absolutely could not do that. I simply would die trying to set up all the mics.
We're just a good team, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We're a great team. You're great at what you... all right, how about we flip it? Go on, give Jackson my Uno reverse card.
Give it to me.
Give him some appreciation. Give him your affection. Kiss him on the lips and give him your affection. There you go. Wow, sorry,
anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Something about, you said, D&D modules.
D&D modules. We had a lovely time working through the D&D modules, and after about 6 months or so, we were able to finish it. We had a really nice send-off for our characters, proper tributes to our fallen comrades, and a gift for our wonderful GM, who we will call X, who did a really fantastic job.
That's so nice.
I love that. Naturally, we started up another campaign written from a module about a month later. You could tell we were even more invested this time round, and because our characters were a lot more nuanced mechanically and dramatically. We played pretty regularly again for about a month and a half, and then things began to fall apart. We'd play for 1 week, but off for 2 or 3, then play for another 2 weeks, but then we'd be off again for a month. Gradually, we just kind of got ghosted by X. I was a little disappointed, but the rest of us started another game. After a few months, X came back with another idea for a campaign that fizzled out again in pretty much the same way after a few months of playing it. I get it, life happens. A few months later, yet again, X comes back with another idea for a campaign with a few new players, and we dived in. We played for the better part of a year, super consistently. The campaign was amazing. We had shocking character reveals, heart-aching deaths, intrigue, mystery, love, loss, everything. Our intra-party roleplay was top-notch, and you could tell that X was fully engaged as well. We worked our way up to an incredible cliffhanger as our party was about to confront the final area. We broke for the evening, enthused, with X telling us that we had maybe 1 or 2 sessions left, and this was indeed the big finale. We couldn't play the next week because of a holiday, but every other week when trying to contact X, we'd get another excuse. We'd suggest different days, different times, in person, online, anything to finish it off. After months of silence, we realized we weren't going to get that ending. I'm currently GMing the same group, X included, for a short period, so I understand that life happens and GMing a campaign is a lot of work. I will never ask anyone to put in effort for something they don't want to do. However, by X's own admission, the work was already done and we had 1 or 2 sessions left. I can't help but feel like we could have just found 2 evenings in the past several years to finish off an incredible campaign and brought a close to a year's worth of great storytelling. So am I the arsehole for resenting X for not bringing our campaign to a proper close?
No. I don't think you're an ass. Like, there's gonna be some resentment feelings there. I get it.
You're a human being, or you're a goose.
It's your time as well. You know, goose.
You're a silly goose. I think this is a really hard one. This is just tragic.
It's just sad.
This is just really sad. Like
sometimes it's just so hard. Like if you're just not in the mood and you've fallen out of love with the campaign or whatever, it is so hard. Even if the story is written, you're still gonna have to plan.
And like again, no idea what the scenario is with your DM, right?
Yeah.
But if maybe they've tried a couple of times and it's fizzled out, and you know what, you rode the high of the first module being amazing, right?
Yeah.
That feeling. Listen, you're never gonna feel that high again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like drugs, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah.
Like you're
that
constantly,
dopamine hit it's basically a drug.
You have that high, and then you're constantly chasing that high. And I can see as a DM how you kind of made. God, this was months ago in the beginning of the podcast. You made a comparison to being a DM to being like in a band playing on stage because you get that dopamine hit from it and that adrenaline from it.
Yeah,
you're never gonna feel that feeling again. Not in that same way.
No, it's like, and the thing is, it's really, 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 really tough to, like, there's something in showbiz called second show syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's like you perform shows like every night of the week or like 3 nights of the week or whatever it is. You do the first one, and because it was the first one, all that adrenaline and everything, and then you go on the second night, and you could have performed exactly the same, but you could
have performed better.
You'll come off the stage not feeling as good because you just don't have that same feeling because it wasn't the first time again.
Absolutely.
It's like this. It's like, this campaign. For me, it's like I love it. It's amazing. Like I know myself, the story's better.
Yeah.
Like the lore's better.
Yeah.
Like oh god, the dog.
I don't know how we got under the table. In fact, I know exactly how we got under the table.
Anyway, yeah. Like I know that this campaign is way better in terms of content and pacing and the lot, but it's like part of me is like, it's not as good as the first campaign because
you're not getting this.
Because it was the first time I did it, and it was the first time I realized I could.
Totally.
And it was the first time everyone was sort of like, oh wow, Jack's not shit at
this.
It
was the first time you experienced all of the things.
And like having Josh there for the first time.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, it's weird because
you're never gonna replicate.
You just don't replicate it.
No, and it's a special time in history.
Yeah.
Like for all of us. For probably the same reason, really, for that exact feeling. And nothing will even be able to be comparable to it because it's its own thing memorialized.
So this DM probably got that and was like, why isn't it the same?
Why am I not feeling
the same? And it's tough. And, like I said at the beginning, like earlier, like even if it's written, even if it's done, even if it's finished, even if there's nothing else story-wise to write, you still have to prep.
Yeah.
And if you just don't have the motivation, you might be the sort of person who is able to like dig through it and get past it. Some people can't do that.
Yeah.
And some people, the dog is open the curtain.
Right.
And he's just
keep this train of thought. I'll put the picture of the dog in if I remember.
He was just stood in the curtain.
He was just stood in the curtain. You probably saw the lighting change.
It's very close to
don't
within the hour of time of his last meal of the day.
Because if we say the word,
these will be like. But yeah, so it doesn't matter if it's planned. You still get planned, and if some people can dig themselves out of that, like I don't really want to do it, and some people can't. So
yeah,
and because it's also unfair on you because also the DM has to respect your time.
It's you know what, this is such a tough position to be in because it's unfair on everyone, and I'm certain your DM hasn't intentionally done this, obviously.
No,
but. It is unfair on everyone. It's unfair on the DM. It's unfair on the players. It's unfair on you. Like, I think maybe the word resentment is maybe too harsh.
Yeah.
I think, Goose, you say it yourself. You understand. And you say you would never force someone to do something that you don't want. So it can't be both. It can't be I would never force someone, but also resentment.
Yeah.
I don't think you resent this person.
I think you've, and the thing is, you are right to feel upset that you didn't get to see the conclusion because you worked hard as well. You turned up every week, and every player there deserves to feel that way.
And it sounds like it was amazing.
It's tough because I understand both sides of the coin, and neither of them should be ignored.
Agreed. They're both valid, right?
I get how you feel, and you have a right to feel that way.
Yeah.
But also, but the thing is, I'm saying in this as if I understand the mentality of the DM. That might not be the case. They might just be fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what? It doesn't. Based on the context Goose is given, I don't think the DM is lazy.
It doesn't sound like that.
Like to me, it really sounds like the DM is. Hey, you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
There could be whatever going on in that little pea brain. You know what I mean? Maybe this person really struggles with loss. Maybe they struggle with change. Maybe coming into the finale of it is too much, and this person didn't realize, and they're struggling with it. This is me projecting.
If what we said is the case, then no, you can't feel resentment. If it is laziness, then yes,
of course.
But I think, if I were you, I would. If you feel this strongly about it, I would just not play with X again because you can't handle not seeing the end of the conclusion, which is fair.
Yeah.
Really, really fair.
Yeah, and you know what? It is such a shame because it's unfair on you, Goose, to be like, well, I just can't play with him anymore. But at the same time, you have to protect your own feelings.
Yeah, and I don't want you to think that we don't understand your point here,
no,
Goose, because
God,
I understand your point so much.
I do.
But
I really do.
I think sometimes we do have to like put that aside and be like,
how
is this other person feeling?
I'd be fucking devastated.
I'd be devastated.
If, this campaign, for example, if Rayleigh's story didn't come to an end,
Stop now and don't play tomorrow.
I'd be fucking devastated.
I get you, but you would be.
But at the same time, you have to respect.
Yeah, you do.
What other people are going through and the feelings that other people are feeling. Like, I don't know, Goose. I'm not sure if you're still friends with X now.
Because I think X was in another game that they ran.
Yes, X was in a group that Goose ran, but apparently only for a short period.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still friends with X.
As great as X's campaigns might be, I think for you, it's probably best to not join anymore.
Totally. And you know what? If you are still friends with X and you're close, I would maybe just check in on them.
See if they're okay. Like,
check
see
in
if
on
there's
them.
a reason why they don't finish the campaigns. Because I don't know what, I bet you there is.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? The whole we just get another excuse. We'd suggest all these things. It's very clear for whatever reason they did not want to do it.
It's tough, isn't it? It's
I don't know. You know what? I was going to be like, maybe you should have a reason. At the same time, I don't think anyone owes anyone anything.
Sometimes in life there just fucking isn't one.
True.
Sometimes you just can't.
Sometimes there isn't.
You just can't get over the mental wall that's there.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason it's there, don't ever think that you're being stupid or I should be able to just get over this, because it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
And I don't think your DM meant to do this.
No,
I don't think X meant this. And, it's hard because Goose says by X's own admission, all the work was done, right? And, I think maybe hanging on those words, but I would hang on those words.
Yeah, you would, because you're desperate for the conclusion.
I would cling to them, but I think maybe that's a bit of a white horse. What's the word? White flag? No. That's a bit of a black horse.
A red herring.
Red herring. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I think maybe if it might help you to maybe not hold on to those words so closely.
Don't hold on to those
Sometimes
words.
people just fucking say things,
Sometimes. My campaign. From this point, really, there was, like I said before, there was about 25, 26, 27 sessions of setup.
Yeah.
The rest of the campaign's just reactionary and written. The story's now just playing out.
Yeah.
There's a plan that Angerboard has had the entire time, and now it's just going to play out.
Yeah.
There's complications that'll get thrown in the way, but she knows what she wants to do, and she's got all the tools to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to plan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
There's still a fuck ton to plan. It's more when it comes to me. I said this in the last at the end of my last campaign. When you get to this stage of a campaign, your planning is mostly reactionary.
Yeah, totally. And that I can imagine that's really fucking hard.
It's not that hard, and I think it's easier for me because I'm more than happy to let go of the reins now that I've done the setup.
Yeah.
And I'll plan what I think I have to, and I'm more than happy to tell my players, more than happy to admit, I didn't plan for this, so let's just... It's like what happened with TRP.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to just go straight through Scaloness and
into
straight
Manavik.
to Manavik.
Yeah.
And, but I sort of get really excited by that type of game.
Yeah, and that's totally different people enjoying different things.
Yeah, and,
but, and I also think, Goose, God, it must be so hard to think back on the first campaign, also as a player, also with the second stage syndrome or whatever, second show syndrome, to look back and be well, we had an amazing campaign. We had an amazing time. It finished. X is capable of finishing it. I that's me projecting. I don't necessarily know if you're thinking like that, but if you are thinking like that, it probably serves you better to try and not think like that.
Yeah.
Goose, this is just sad.
It's tough.
I'm sorry,
tough.
Goose. This is just sad.
I think there's also something to be said. It's you'd be fucking... a lot of you wouldn't be surprised, but some of you will be surprised. Some groups aren't consistent, and some groups do not finish the amount of fucking campaigns that I've joined that haven't met the conclusion, whether it was because of me or not because of me or because of the DM or whatever.
Yeah.
So many campaigns do not really reach the conclusion.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
The ideal world they all would, but life just fucking gets in the way.
It does, and it sounds like, unfortunately, this is just a case of life just getting in the way.
100%.
There's kind of nothing you can do about it.
There isn't.
I hope maybe submitting this was some catharsis for you.
I hope that helped.
I hope so.
I know that we probably didn't give you what you wanted to. Well, I think we maybe did.
Yeah, I think, we definitely sympathize
And
with
maybe
you.
just helped you like see it from the DM's perspective.
Yeah, true. I think Goose, you already could see it from the DM's perspective, but
I think
try not to resent them. I know it's easy to, but try not to.
You are not an asshole.
No, you are not. You are
it's
not
so
an
easy
asshole.
to feel that way.
No one's an asshole here.
No one.
Just unfortunate
Unless
circumstances.
it was just fucked
just
off.
out of pure lazy. Yeah.
Unless it was just fucked
true.
off.
In which case, that's rude.
Then that is rude.
Yeah, I think and if anyone watching this has any suggestions for Goose, anything, let Goose know.
His foot in his mouth.
He did have his foot in his mouth. In the mouth. Yeah. If anyone has any suggestions for Goose, please let Goose know.
I've got a suggestion for
Hello.
you, Goose. If you don't have a campaign, join the Discord.
Here we go. Yeah, go on. Join the Discord.
Join the Discord and join the campaign in there because we do not tolerate people do not respecting each other's time in there.
Indeed.
So if you join a campaign in there, you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Unless, shit comes up and you need to get out and that's fine.
Of course.
So yeah, join the Discord, Goose.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Goose. That's a bit of a downer.
Yeah, so's mate.
So's Goose. Okay, so this is the last one. Yes, I said it, everyone. It's the last one.
'Tis the last.
'Tis the last of I don't know how many. This is number 9. Number nine. This was
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
It'll probably be about 2.5 hours in total.
Yeah. This is from the Reddit. So, this is, I know this is memed on a lot, but I genuinely want feedback. Am I the arsehole? So during a session, we were fighting a large creature. A large lamia, to be specific. Now, I looked this up, and a lamia can either be basically a centaur with like a lion body or like a snake person. Like with a snake body.
Yeah.
I couldn't come to a conclusion of which it was because 2 different results come up. But basically, no, it's either a centaur-ish thing or a snake-ish thing.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's also what came up. But a lot of the comments were talking about a snake person, and a lot of the results came up with a snake person. I don't know. It's one or the other. I don't think it matters. Anyway, so we came up against a lamia, and I got the idea to try and incapacitate the creature by wrapping it up with rope.
Okay.
Large creatures are 10 feet wide. I had about 20 feet of rope, so it should be totally possible, right? However, the DM and my fellow party members disagreed. We got into a big argument, and I was admittedly stubborn, but eventually relented because the majority ruled. I'm still grumpy, though. What irked me the most is that everyone said that they felt like I was disrupting the session, even though from my point of view, I was just trying to explain how it should be possible to wrap up an at maximum 10-foot wide creature with 20 feet of rope. Then I realized the issue. They were role-playing around the mechanics, while I was using the mechanics to explain my role-playing. You know what I mean? I always imagined D&D battles as being much more cinematic. If it's physically possible, I should be at least able to attempt it, right? But apparently the DM and my other party members preferred rigidly sticking to the combat rules, not improvising anything for something like what I was doing. So was I in the wrong here? I actually overall really like the group and I don't want to leave. But if we have such fundamental differences in thinking about how to play in D&D, then I don't know what else to say.
Is this a submission?
No, this isn't.
I didn't think it was.
No, it's not. It's absolutely
not. It's mad how
not.
you can like pick the community members from the non-community members, isn't it?
It is. First of all,
go on.
That's not how that works.
What?
If you have 20 feet of rope and something is 10 feet wide, that is simply not how like circumference and diameter work.
Not.
Simply not.
It's just not.
It's I don't know how to explain that.
And I understand that you're saying
it's double.
20 is double 10.
I
and
understand
10 is half
that.
Of 20.
I get that.
But,
you couldn't tie something up.
Let me just put it this way: if it's like this is a lamia.
Yes.
If you're trying to incapacitate it, the lamia has 2 hands and 4 legs.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to wrap it around the top, and then you're gonna have to wrap it around all 4 legs. You ain't gonna have enough rope.
And you want to incapacitate it?
Incapacitate it? Like, you better believe if that's happening to me, it's gonna be a contested strength check to grapple, and then a check to see if you can tie it at the same time whilst grappling.
And like listen.
That's a fucking really hard thing.
You know
to
what?
do.
I'll put a picture of the Lamia from that up. Like, this is what you're dealing with. You're telling me you could wrap this 10-foot, whatever the fuck, up with 20 feet of rope and suffer no consequences and immediately succeed and incapacitate it. It has arms.
Like, and the thing is, at the end of the day as well, like, if somebody was like, I'm going to try and tie it up, it's not just like, oh, I want to tie it up, and the DM goes,
okay.
oh, you want to tie it up? Okay.
You have 20 feet of rope.
You get 20 feet. All right, okay. Just wrap it up.
It's
like,
incapacitated.
Like, there needs to be checks.
Yeah.
There needs to be, like, we play a dice-based game. We have modifiers and not modifiers. Everything has strength scores, dex scores, con scores, everything. You have all of those things. So if we try to get into this situation where we need to, like, do it, then it all comes down to rolling dice.
And it's like the questions of, like, it should be totally possible, right? And
no.
I should be able to attempt it, right? It's like, you're not veiling the fact that you think you should have. Like, just say, don't be like, right?
I should have, right? It's like, you just think you should have. You've been a little hurt by the fact that you haven't.
Yeah, you sound fucking insufferable.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
You sound insufferable.
You sound like you're a bit annoying, yeah.
You sound insufferable.
you sound a bit annoying.
You sound like the definition of rancid vibes here. Rancid vibes.
That's like, look, like, just because you have 20 feet of rope doesn't mean you should be immediately able to tie something up.
And you know what? This is actually kind of the point I was trying to make earlier with, I think with Riles' thing. And oh my God, Riles absolutely is not.
Riles apparently
Riles, no. Riles, I'm not comparing you to this. But what I'm saying is, it gets to a point, right, where if one person is arguing and it's going on and on and on, and everyone is like, "Shut the fuck up! You're being really disruptive."
Yeah.
Yes, you have to stop.
But then I do think there's a difference between Riles, who was absolutely
shafted.
100% shafted and justified in complaining because you've just been fucked out of something that you shouldn't have been fucked out of, and this person who's trying to make a case that is just so fucking stupid.
True, but you know, like, regardless of whether
it slows the session.
Yeah, like whether they were in the right or not, like, this person thinks they're 100% in the right.
And it's like, look, when it comes down to, like, I have 20 feet and it's a 10 feet space and I should be able to, it's like, to me, when it comes to D&D, it's a fucking fantasy game that we try and do crazy shit in. Like, when it comes, I remember, you know the example I'm going to use. I remember when I was a certain character and I was playing with a certain DM, I just wanted to pick something up because I was a big strong boy who had, like, 19 in strength. And I was like, can I try and pick this up? And then he was like, oh, and he goes in his computer and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm calculating the weight. It's technically completely impossible if you to do this. And I'm just like,
it's like, if you don't want me to do it, just tell me.
Just tell me you don't want me to do it. Don't calculate me and hit me with facts and logic. It's like, I'm playing a fucking fantasy game. If I want to just try and pick something, and I understand if it's like a house, I'm not going to be able to pick it up, but it wasn't. It was like a fucking safe.
But it's also like, if you don't want me to pick it up, just don't let me pick it up.
Yeah, if you don't want me to pick it up, just say, oh, you can't pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking try and hit me with facts and logic as to why it can and can't happen.
That's exactly what this person is doing.
But
they're applying the wrong facts and logic.
They're trying to apply facts and logic that don't work to a fantasy game where, obviously, you know, if it's a fight as well and everyone's buzzing to fight it and you're like, I'm going to try and tie it up and, like, stop the combat, it's like, everyone else is having fun.
I also think you're being very patronizing. You're being like, then it hit me. I realize that we're playing two different ways. I think it's cinematic and they're being really rigid. It's like, you're being really patronizing, actually. I don't know why this is giving me such a bee in my bonnet.
Yeah, you're really pissed off about this.
I know. It's just annoying, isn't it?
Like, look, some people do. No, but I sort of get that point. Some people really like to, like, get down to the itty gritty fine details of the game. And it's like, it's true. These two people are trying to play in a different style.
Agreed.
But that would work if your theory was right, but your theory's not right because that's not how it works.
That's the problem. That is the problem. And it's just like,
if you want to destroy someone with facts and logic, make sure your facts and logic are at least sound.
And, like, you know, we got into a big argument and I was stubborn, but I'm still grumpy. And it's like, dude, just let it go. Just let it go. And you know what? I was going to be like, it's interesting how only after you've had a big argument and you've been told you're wrong that you're like, oh, I should leave. And it's like, interesting how you're coming to this point. However, you know what, OP? I think to give you the benefit of the doubt here, I do think you're right. I think you're playing
2 different games.
You're playing 2 different games.
Thing is, right, let me hit you with a scenario.
Go on.
Just
hit me with a taint.
I'm gonna hit you with a taint.
Hit me with a taint.
Straight in the face.
Yeah.
Let me if let's just say your DM was like, okay, it is technically possible.
Yeah.
Which it probably isn't. So I will allow you to try.
Yeah.
And then it's like, let's roll contested strength checks.
Yeah.
And you roll a natural 20.
Yeah.
And the DM rolls a natural 20 and you roll a natural 1 and you fail massively.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter if your facts and logic come into play because like the dice are not letting you do it. So it's like you could, because then your argument fails. It's like, but it's technically possible. It's like, well, it doesn't fucking matter if it's technically possible.
And then it's like, do you then go down the route of, well, I should just be able to do it.
I should just be able to do it.
It's like that's not the game we play.
That's not the fucking point of the game.
Yeah, that's not the game we play.
We're playing a dice-based game.
It's like
with things that are big and strong.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you have a sword and you walk up to something. Yeah, you should technically be able to stab it.
You can just kill it because you can stab it.
You should technically be able to do that.
That's how a game works. Yeah. Things have hit points.
Boo! Unrestful. Unrestful. Unrestful.
Vibes. That was an auditory nightmare.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why that bothered me so much.
It's because it's the way it's fucking worded.
It's the way
this person just thinks they're entitled to it.
Bleh, rancid.
Fuck off.
What putrid vibes. Yeah, I'm hitting you with the putrid vibes.
Putrid, is that?
Ew.
Now you look like rancid vibes.
Rancid vibes. You're the asshole.
You are the asshole.
See ya.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Are we all done and dusted for this evening?
I'm sorry I left it on such a rancid vibe, to be honest. How's everyone doing after that? How is everyone? This is a long video once again.
How are you?
I'm good.
Giving it the call back.
Giving it the call back.
2 hours and 50 minutes ago.
Oh, that feels like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? That feels like a lifetime ago.
Okay.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I always like I'm assholes. They're always dead fun, aren't they?
They are dead fun.
Dead fun.
I hope I haven't riled you all up. Again, it's like you know that meme where it's like the mum's like, don't rile the dog up, and then it's you being like,
me with the dog.
Literally.
I can see his little ears.
Have I riled you all up? Have we riled you up?
I'm sorry that you've been riled up because it's time to go now.
Yeah, I know. Now you're just gonna have to sit with your own feelings, and
it's recording day, so we're gonna order some food now, and then we're gonna record the next one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna announce the winner of the Homebrew challenge.
Oh my god, are you Scottish again?
That was sort of Scottish. Yeah.
That's sort of Scottish. What was I gonna say? God, that threw me off. The new Homebrew challenge starts today.
Starts today. Ends Monday next week.
Theme is still Moon. You have until Monday the 19th to get your submissions.
What's the category, Margaret?
It's a world primer, baby.
Get yourself in the Discord.
Oh,
Hit me with your world primer about Moon.
Oh, I would love to hear it. That's so exciting.
I'm going to go feed my dog now.
Yeah, we're going to go feed the dog and feed ourselves.
If you liked the video, please remember to hit the like button because I know there's at least 1,000 of you that watch this video. So why doesn't the video have 1,000 likes?
Yeah, riddle me that.
And 1,000 comments.
Riddle me
that. Comment down below and tell me who you think any of the assholes are in these situations. And if you liked it enough, don't forget to subscribe. It is free. And hit the bell notifications to be notified when we make a new video, upload a new video on Monday and Thursday.
Everyone in the watch party, get yourselves ready. We do a crab rave every single time.
Let's go.
And hey, anyone watching on YouTube, you can sit and do crab rave too. That's fine as well. Thank you.
We'll see you on Thursday.
Yes.
I love you very much.
I love you too.
Margaret loves you very much. We, as the Eldritch Podblast, love you very much.
Yeah, and so does the dog.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.